There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. He has gone. Liam Rosenior has been sacked as Chelsea manager. Inevitable, yes. Predictable, yes. He had to go. He had to go. And look, he is not the only one which head should be rolling right now. Sporting directors need to get the hell out of my club. Egg Barley, something needs to change with you as well, son. But it's literally just happened about 2 minutes ago. And I'm going to share now the club statement. So club statements come out from Chelsea about Liam Rosenior. Chelsea Football Club today have parted company with head coach Liam Rosenior. On behalf of everyone at Chelsea FC, we'd like to place on record our gratitude to Liam and his staff for all the efforts during their time at the club. Well, I'm saying thank you for their efforts. Liam has always conducted himself with the highest integrity and professionalism following his appointment midway through the season. Midway through the season, interesting. This has not been a decision that the club has taken lightly. However, results and performances have fallen below the necessary standards and still so much to play for this season. Boring. Everyone at Chelsea wishes Liam every success in the future. Probably going to go back to Strasbourg. Callum McFarlane will be taking charge as interim head coach until the end of the season and will be supported with existing club backroom staff as we strive to achieve European qualification and progress in the FA Cup. As the club works to bring stability to the head coach position, we will undertake a process of self-reflection to make the right long-term appointment. What a load of BS, copy and paste crap I've ever heard. My camera froze. It's not the first time this has happened. Let me do it again. My camera froze. Anyone in chat, let me know. Shouldn't be doing that. That's not the first time that's happened either. Shouldn't be happening either. But wow. Well, there we have it, ladies and gents. He's gone. Good riddance too. Not his fault, but we had to get rid of him because we couldn't be playing like we did yesterday ever again. That was shambolic. I didn't even watch the game live. I watched it again this morning. I honestly couldn't believe what I was watching. I genuinely couldn't believe what I was watching. Big up to 50 of you here. Thank you so much for joining. I know we were meant to come on at 6. This was always in the kind of the schedule that we thought this was going to happen. So we made sure we got the thumbnail ready. We made sure that we were going to be ready to go. Jem will be joining in a second. He's just eating a bit of food and he will be coming live in a second. And we'll be running through the shambles of yesterday. But obviously, most importantly, there's been a lot of news coming around today. And I think what we need to understand now is who will be our next manager. Obviously, Callum McFarlane is going to be the interim. He had one almighty game in his record. I believe we should have gone for a JT. I think the least they could have done this season was to allow the fans at least to ride off into the sunset this season with at least some sort of passion with the fans, get some cohesion back. But they would never dare have any of the old guard coming in and ruining that. So what do? They bring in their mates. So he got Callum McFarlane until the end of the season. And look, do you know what? Good luck to him. There's not much to play for now. He's got a massive game, obviously, on Sunday. Do I believe it's going to be our way? Probably not. Myself, Jem, Benji will be meeting up. We're going to be going for a few drinks, I think, on Sunday. Not sure where we're going yet. But, yeah. Woodshedder, didn't expect that to come. Toby, I hope you're well, my friend. But to be honest, look, we all knew he was not fit for purpose. And I think the issue was that they were trying so hard to keep him in this job because this is their man. This was their last resort. There has to be some drastic change in the summer now. And I cannot believe that we're not getting more about sporting directors or anything like that because they need to go. They 100% need to go. If there's any news outlets which come out that anyone sees at all of any new post and you want me to have a look at it, let me know. But yes, the Daily's just come out saying there's a key line in this statement. As the club works to bring stability to the head coach position, we will undertake a process of self-reflection to make the right long-term appointment. Take that what you will. I think it's just a load of PR BS. We've heard this so many times. Anyone can say, oh, I'm going to self-reflect. It's like if you've been in a relationship and you get caught cheating, you're going to go, I want to stay with her, so I'm going to reflect on what I've done. Sorry, it's not good enough. There's so much damage they've done now. The club that I've loved is gone. The escapism now for me is not watching the club that I love. It's actually not watching them. And that's how sad it's got. But what do you guys feel in the chat? How do you feel about this decision? Obviously, with it being inevitable. The question is now, and Rogue's put it on here, who do we want next? This is vital. I believe now, and I said this yesterday actually in my predictions, I believed if we lost last night that he was going to get sacked. I just felt that the whole narrative between us and Brighton, us trying to follow the model of Brighton, and then looking how we played yesterday, it just wasn't good enough. You had the protests at the weekend. Terrible look. I think there is a massive pressure vice now on a lot of the members who are running Clear Lake and the consortium. I think there's a big change which needs to happen. And I think that starts with the sporting directors going. But who do we think is going to join? I mean, this is going to be big now. Rogue's thinking maybe Fabregas, Alonso, Nagelsmann, Philippe Luis, or Areola. In my opinion, out of that, I believe it's Areola now. I think it's a given that it's Areola. Look, if it is, he does play exciting football. But to me, it's very much like it's not a needle mover. To me, a needle mover is Nagelsmann. That's something which is more of an old guard of Chelsea, what we would try and do, like a Tuchel, something like that. Potentially Alonso, I could see that. I don't want Fabregas to come anywhere near our club and ruin his legacy. He was one of my favourite players, top 5 players at Chelsea. I wouldn't want him to tarnish his name with this god-awful forsaken club at the moment. But you're right, Benji. Come on, man. I don't know if you're here, if you're maybe studying. I don't know if you're at college or uni, sorry. But yeah, it's going to be Areola, I think. So yeah, RIP to CFC, Chelsea. It's not good. It's not good. Waldo, you're saying it's Fabregas, Luis, or Xavi is your shortlist. Yeah, I mean, look, something drastically needs to change. And I think I can't believe, well, you'd like to think they would realize this, but they've got no one else to go to now. They've gone through all the yes men you can. And to be honest, I feel for Liam, but I just feel he never helped himself. He spoke too much. He did too much talking in the press conferences in his little safe space. And I never saw a fucking word come out of his mouth when we were in the game. I would just see him standing there, watching or sitting. And then as soon as the camera had gone in, just does not fit for purpose. And we all knew that. And this is the problem. It's not his fault. Majority of it is with those sporting directors, which their heads need to fucking roll now. They need to go. 100% they need to go. Get that wad of cash, get that checkbook out, and get me Campos. I don't care. He's done what he's needed to do at PSG. The blueprint of what we wanted to do was at PSG. Get him in. None of this too bullshit sporting directors. Let Paul Winstanley go to Tottenham or wherever it is. Let him burn them to the ground as well. We probably fit them actually being in the Championship. So yeah, Bowley did want Campos. We did offer him a contract. I think it was like 8 million a year or something. The thing is, Bowley was probably the driver I believe that we should have gone for. I believe now, I mean, there's been rumblings. I've seen some kind of insights of what the kind of background is. I can't disclose who it is who said it, but it's not all running smoothly in the background. And the protest, if things hit the news from a PR perspective, which isn't in their favor, I'm telling you, the shareholders are not happy at the moment. And the fact you saw last night and you're hearing the chants, I think Pies obviously posted about fuck off Egbal, you're not wanted here. Liam Rosenior, you can fuck off as well. It's a horrendous look. It's a horrendous look. And you were even hearing at Stamford Bridge at the weekend, which wasn't really there before. You're hearing the fuck off Egbal, you're not wanted here. And I think Mike actually said it, Mike Chelsea, big contributor here on the channel. We need to change that Liquidator soundtrack at the beginning. Instead of saying fuck off Tottenham, Chelsea, it is fuck off Blueco, Chelsea. That's what we should be singing at the Liquidator at the start. But look, what's this, Toby, from here? Sky Sports understand there was a break clause in Liam's contract and will not be due a hefty compensation. Look, to be fair, he seemed to have got a really short end of the deal here. He got forced to probably be here. He probably said, look, I'm actually building something quite good here. I'm learning at Strasbourg. Let me stay. And they've gone, no, you're coming. Toby, I don't know why Fab did it. Here we go for Callum McFarlane. It's a sad, sorry state of where we are now. West Ham went through the same thing, to be honest. What was that? What change in sporting directors? Blueco should also sack those punks. Yeah, 100%. We've known this for a long time, though. This surely has to be the change. This has to be the catalyst for them to go. Another manager they've hired has failed. Maresca literally just asked for a centre-back. He asked for a centre-back and they went, no, get out the club. Crazy. Endo, I hope you're well. Do you think we'll beat Leeds? No, I don't. Leeds haven't been to Wembley for, I can't remember, it's like 25 years, something like that, in terms of an FA Cup semi-final. They will be licking their lips at that fixture. And I don't blame them. Chelsea fans don't want to go. If I was you and you were going, go there so you can be with your mates and have a good time with them and unwind. Don't be there to watch the game. So they don't deserve our support at the moment. Here's Benji. I hope you're well, mate. How you getting on?
Oh, what a beautiful day. Oh my goodness. I've been looking forward to this day. Listen, people, you can stick it up to me. However you want to do it, it's all fine. I'll take it all. Pause. I backed this man. I was very foolish. Now, to defend myself, I said after the summer, I said give him a rest of the season. Or just sack him and, do an interim. But I will just hold my licks. But fucking hell, I'm so happy. Oh my goodness. Oh, it feels so good, man. I don't even think you understand.
I don't think we could have got any lower than the game yesterday. I mean, I predicted that Liam was going to go once the Brighton game. I think if we lost 1-0 to Brighton, I think we would have maybe tried to have kept him until Leeds. But I believe it was the manner that we lost. It was the manner of the atmosphere of the Chelsea fans. I think it was the manner of losing 3-0 as well against a rival of what you're trying to picture your whole club as. I think all that narrative together, I think there was just no choice that he had to go. And I mean, like I said, there's one head rolled. There's two more to go as well.
Yeah.
Big up, Jem. Big news just coming in.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. My phone today, I swear down, it's frozen. Like, I generally can't. Like, it's gone crazy. I did predict, though, didn't I? If you look at my tweet, it's gone viral, actually, my tweet on that.
Yeah, you did. You predicted the time.
I predicted it would be between 5 and 6:30, and it would happen, and it's happened.
Majestic. Mystic Gem.
Yeah, I'm a brown envelope. I keep telling you guys. It's like when we was on playback. I used to always get the news. Do you know what I mean? Straight on time.
Oh, you showing it. Cool.
Right, let's get into things, guys. Yes, Rosenior has been sacked. Something that we all expected was going to happen, but Chelsea are part way with him. Seriously wanted to give the 41-year-old much longer, but results dictated otherwise. FA Cup trust Champions League Champions League push key factors. Callum McFarlane to take the interim charge. Do you know what's mad? Go look at my last comment or my last tweet. You'll see me actually say, if he's gone, Callum McFarlane's coming in. There's no way in hell that they were able now to organise a manager who's, you know, if they're still working, to be able to put them out of a job and put them into one now. So I think having this, having this interim in Alder and McFarlane makes sense. And I think in the summer window, it's going to be a long window, not only for change with the squad, but a big decision in regards to who's going to actually take us on in the summer window, because they'll have a full pre-season to really try and, you know, really implement whatever it is that they're going to implement. But this was always coming. Ben Jacobs. All right, let's quickly have a look before we go to Benji. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to catch up on. I know you guys haven't hit the like, some of you already. I've already looked. So please make sure you're smashing the like buttons. There's a good chance Ben Jacobs might jump in a second as well. So
nice.
Breaking. Is it this one? No, not this one. It's not this one. So what he's referring to. Here we are. More on Liam Rosenior's sacking. Chelsea felt it was their only course of action to try and qualify for Europe and win the FA Cup. Sources say several senior players had lost faith in the Chelsea head coach. A full process to find a replacement is expected, with Chelsea aware several qualified coaches are available this summer. The focus now on stability and give the players the best possible environment to finish this season strong. Players and staff were informed before the announcement was made. Decision was taken by the club leadership's team. Sources say there is an acknowledgement that some wrong decisions have been made, not just in appointing Rosenior, but across the season, with learnings now being taken ahead of hiring a new coach. Not only have they got to double down on sorting out this squad, but now they're going to have to double down in actually maybe like shifting them away from their current process and their project and make them have to look at going. And we're being told already experienced individuals coming into this club. So, you know, they've got so much pressure on them, Benji and Matt, this season, because it's not just now the squad, it's the manager. They've got to get experienced manager, which is what we're getting quoted at, experienced players. They're really getting pushed against the word of what we've seen the last 3-4 years under this project of, you know, youth giving young talent the opportunity, whether it's manager or players. They've got to completely change their mindsets and ethos to this now. Do we believe it? No, we don't, because we could only go on what we've seen so far. But they are now at a window where they can't hide anymore. You've got too many fans that have turned, too many fans that have had enough, especially after what we saw. We're not even going to be talking about the Brighton game today because of all this. It's absolutely tragic. But do you get what I mean? There's so much that's gone on in such a short space of time since getting rid of Enzo Maresca that they have forced themselves into a corner where you've got Chelsea fans and etc. on one side, and then them in the corner now on their own going, shit, we've got to start changing things. It's going to be huge. It's going to be
huge. I think it's almost, and this is very dramatic to say, but I think as a club, this is really defining about who we are going to be in the next couple of decades, I believe, in which trajectory we're going to go in. But they deserve this. They deserve having this pressure. They have done nothing to equate to any reaction of what we've wanted before. This is all of their own doing. And I believe this is very much because of the protest. I believe there's probably massive rumblings in the background about the shareholders now. And they have to change. And if they don't change now, nothing will ever change. And I think this summer window, even though it was the biggest summer window, I think, for a long time for us, they've got to do now internal change too. This isn't just a manager and football players. They have to get those two scrubs out the club as well. They have to.
There's a lot that needs to happen. I mean, we're going to get to Benji right in a second, but I just want to read the club statement on Liam Rosenior. It says, on behalf of everyone at Chelsea, we'd like to place on record our gratitude to Liam and his staff for the effort during this time with the club. Liam has always conducted himself with the highest integrity and professionalism following his appointment midway through the season. This has not been a decision the club has taken lightly. However, recent results and performances have fallen below the necessary standards, which with still so much more to play for this season. Wait a sec. However, recent results and performances have fallen below the necessary standards, which we all fucking know. We could have told you that when you appointed this prick. With still so much to play for this season. Everyone at Chelsea wishes him, we've got so much to play for. Callum McFarlane will take charge of the team to interim head coach until the end of the season with the support of the existing club backroom staff as we strive to achieve European qualification and progress. And that right there is a big reason as to why they've made the decision they have now. They still believe that we can get European football. They still believe that we can go on and win an FA Cup. And what they realised was that we could not do that under Liam Rosenior, and something had to change. And it says here, as the club works to bring stability to the head coach position, we will undertake a process of self-reflection to make the right long-term appointment. That really hits home. That comment there. I know it doesn't mean much until we see it, but them saying these things is everything's got to be recorded, right? As soon as you pull it out, it's recorded, And for this to be on the statement of Chelsea to say self-reflection, and then they're going to, before they make the right decisions from the long term, tells me that they're realizing that they've got to start changing things, Benji.
I don't really have. Well, to be honest, I do have a lot to say, but you're completely spot on. It's gonna be very, very fun now. I think for me, everything starts now. Now, in my opinion, we've been saying this in previous life. This motherfucker should have been sacked the last game. Not even like Brighton. He should have been sacked before Brighton, in my opinion, because Brighton was the game we had to win. Now you have to be like, okay, you have to win the rest of your games, and you have to hope the rest, of the league lose games, and other teams gonna, have to do you favors. So mathematically, yes, it is still possible to get Champions League, fine, but I think the main worry here and the main issue here is they're saying they're gonna go for experience. Okay, we've heard that story before, but Jem, we all know, and this is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the sporting directors to get sacked because I am not trusting these sporting directors to go out and find me the right coach to lead this team to the next level, meaning title contending and pushing for the title, and probably win something next year or the year after that. So it like Uncle Matt has been saying all throughout this time, throughout this life, we have to sack the sporting directors. When Stanley and Stewart has to go, who the fuck you bring in? I have no idea. I'm not the data analyst or whatever, the sporting direct. I have no idea. But you have to sack him. Campos, we gave him a contract. He turned us down, rightfully so, because it was just too chaotic. Um, Edwards turned us down. It was too chaotic. We had Vivel that wanted to work with us, but we had three sporting directors at the time, so he left. So I have no idea who the fuck you should go for, but whoever you go for, he should be able to get me the right coach. And I'm not gonna speak about coaches yet, but the fact that we have to get experience now, there's immediate pressure on McFlurry or what the fuck his name is. Uh, yeah, Ginger McFlurry. Uh,
Crunchy McFlurry.
Frenchy McFlurry, you know what I'm saying? That guy, he has immense pressure. It's not even fair to him, but I couldn't give a shit. We have to get Champions League, and we have to hope Aston Villa wins the Europa League, because that sixth spot is crucial to us now, because I don't even think we get fifth. I think we get sixth now. I 100% believe we get sixth, and that sixth spot is gonna get us Champions League. So we have a lot of shit to fix up, a lot of players to sell, and I'm not really gonna go in further because I really want you to go into it. But I think that's my statement for now.
Just for people that are saying about, we saw earlier on about the compensation being 24 million. I knew that was rubbish because I remember when he first got appointed at Chelsea, they mentioned the fact that there was a break clause, and it's just come out again here saying Sky Sports understands that there was a break clause in Liam Rosenior's contract and will not be due a hefty compensation. That I know was the case. I know we were told that what he's been paid out after the shortest. This is probably the shortest sacking I have ever seen.
It's
Like,
107 days. It's 107 days. Potter was 205.
It's bonkers. Toby says here with the power chat or super chat, big up to you, Toby. He says, hire, fire, sign player, sell them, sign player, sell them. Oh, yay, pay rise. We did well. Documentary on SDs. How to scam a living.
Agreed. Good power chat, Toby. Yeah.
Toby, thank you, man. We appreciate you as well. Hawkins said we talked with, well, kind of did, but we'll get to that in a second as well. There's nearly over 70 plus people here right now. Guys, run the likes up, please. I'd appreciate it.
Oh, God.
Chris has turned up as well. Chris, how are you, mate? It's done.
Yeah, I literally saw it, and then I ran and jumped in the shower, ready for work. Got work soon, and you guys need to catch me up because I'm sure there's a lot that has gone down in the last half hour.
Not really. Yeah, there has been a lot of talk around him leaving all day, and you know, one of the things I heard in all of this is that a lot of the reason why they agreed to get rid of him was to do with the player agent. So you know what he said yesterday to I'm talking about Rosenior after the game where he was slatering the players basically. So some of the players' agents after supposedly went out and went to Winstanley specifically and moaned about the comments, and they weren't happy. And the issue they had, the board, is that some of these contracts that we're not aware of that they're trying to deal with behind the scenes with certain players, it was them specific players as agents that were obviously moaning about the fact that, number one, they're not happy with Rosenior, but number two, they think it's just a waste of time. Him being here they just feel like we're just wasting time having someone here that they feel is just not good enough or not even going to be able to take them to the levels that they feel need to be taken. And that put a lot of pressure on the board to make the decision to have to get rid of him now rather than giving him leads or giving him till the end of the season. So you could probably say that the players had a lot of involvement and their agents in terms of forcing the hands of the decision of our board. But again, can I just say one thing? How petty does it make you look still as a board to just be like, oh, okay, I'll do it. Let's just get rid of him because the players' agents are not happy.
Because they're panicking so much, mate. That's the problem. They're so pressured in a vice now with all these players with leaving, because if they all go, we're fucked. We are fucked as a club. So they have to do everything for them now. And we don't like player power. Obviously, there's no player who's big in the club. We all get that. But when it gets this low and they're that incompetent at their jobs, unfortunately, fair play to them, because otherwise, probably they're at the lowest level to have to do that.
There is a Fab video, and I feel like we can watch it just purely because it is on YouTube. I've been told we can watch YouTube stuff on YouTube, especially if it's other content creators. And in my opinion, Fabrizio Romano is a content creator, so I don't see why we can't highlight it. So let's go and have a quick look at the comments from Fabrizio Romano, which come out. And as usual, he's taking a poo at the moment on the toilet.
That's the angle of egg barley.
Yeah, literally. So if you guys are ready, I'm just going to quickly run it and let's see what he's got to say. Yeah.
Fabrizio Romano here, as always, to keep you posted on the transfer market. We will have more videos very soon because there are many things to say on several players, but this video is a breaking news video, and it's an important one regarding Chelsea because the decision has been made. It's over between Chelsea and Liam Rosenior. It's over after another terrible game, terrible result. It's been very difficult for Chelsea to handle this situation because Liam Rosenior arrived a few months ago. It was mid-January when he took over. Enzo Maresca left Chelsea at the beginning of the January transfer window, and they decided to go all in for Liam Rosenior, trusting his project, supporting the manager, but the situation was becoming impossible because I always told you, results. Chelsea have supported the manager, Chelsea have trusted the manager, Chelsea tried in every way to make him feel comfortable and ready to change the situation, but then losing 3-0 against Brighton last 5 games, Chelsea have lost 5 out of 5 and scored 0 goals. 0 goals for the first time in 114 years. So it was really impossible to continue. I think no hierarchy, no owner, no club in the world was going to confirm a manager in this situation. And it's not just about the results. The results have been terrible recently, but it's also about the players' attitude with the manager. Probably the connection between Liam Rosenior and Chelsea players, apart from the very beginning, was not the best possible with some of the players. And that's the reality. So some players were not so happy. And it's not about the person Rosenior. It's not about Rosenior methods. It's probably that his view, his approach was completely different from what Chelsea had before and probably have in their DNA. So this is why the situation became really, really complicated. And again, Chelsea as a club, Chelsea as management, Chelsea as owners, everyone at the club tried their best to support the coach, to try qualify for the Champions League, and then in the summer work together. Liam Rosenior was involved in the conversations ahead of the summer transfer window to decide about the positions to cover, the potential signings. So Chelsea were showing full support to the manager. They never let him stay alone. But it's important to say, for Chelsea, this situation was really impossible to keep. And so the reality is they had to fire Liam Rosenior. After meetings started last night very late, and then in the morning very early, it took almost 10 hours to Chelsea with their directors, with their owners, with all people at the club to talk, to decide, to assess the situation. Chelsea decided in the afternoon to part ways with Liam Rosenior, to sack Liam Rosenior, and to change their manager.
Do you know what? Before we go on, right, they never, ever, ever, none of them ever get to the point as to why they agree to get rid of him. They just say they decided to get rid of him because it was bad performances, this and the other.
Yeah.
They don't do the ins and out as if to say, right, well, they went in today, they sat down, the agents weren't happy. This, like what I said to you guys just now, right? And giving you a bit more into depth as to what's going on. You never get that. It just winds me up. It's just so much bullshit, man.
Let me mention something. On Rosenior, guys, there is a special clause into the agreement Chelsea-Rosenior made in January that will make Chelsea avoid paying crazy money to the manager. So Chelsea are not going to pay the full salary for the long-term contract to Liam Rosenior. There is a break clause into the contract, and so financially for Chelsea will not be as worse as it could have been without this clause. And then, also important to mention, Chelsea will now appoint again the under-21 coach, Callum McFarlane, until the end of the season. That's the view of the club. So he will return. He was working with the under-21, and then in January helping when Maresca left and Chelsea were looking for a new manager. He was helping for a few games, and now he will be back with the first team to help Chelsea till the end of the season, try qualify in some way to the Champions League. Maybe let's see what happens with Aston Villa, Europa League. Chelsea have still some hope left. And then, obviously, in the summer is going to be time for a permanent appointment. Chelsea will start immediately to check the candidates for the permanent job. So this is not going to be a process that is going to be delayed to the end of the season. Until the end of the season, McFarlane will be in charge, but Chelsea will immediately start the conversations with managers and with representatives of managers in order to pick the best coach possible and to maintain the Chelsea league.
I'll tell you something now. This whole scenario of the next manager that they're self-reflecting on, like it says in their club statement says we are self-reflecting on the long-term appointment of the next manager. Yeah, I'm telling you now, this is going to go through all of this summer window and he's going to be leading it. Where I'm telling you, he is going to be leading it. Yeah, it's going to be Chelsea is speaking to this one. Chelsea is speaking to that one. This one's got a problem with this one. This one needs to shit. This one needs to go for this one. Yeah, we're going to be going through a whole roller coaster, not only with the players and knowing who's going, who are the new experienced players coming in, but the manager. It's going to be an absolutely mad summer this year for Chelsea Football Club. One, that is so big and crucial as well, you know. So it's going to be
more importantly, it's going to be a big part for Kings of the Bridge.
What you saying?
It's going to be more bigger for Kings of the Bridge. So you better all be here because we'll be here every day.
Definitely. Yes.
Over 100 people here now, 115 people here now. Big up to you guys. Run it up. Run the lights up. Good to see you all in here. Let's continue with this. We've got a couple minutes left.
So this will be the approach. Now, internal conversations will start. I'm sure every single day, as always, when there is this kind of situation, there will be names, there will be candidates, there will be news, there will be rumors. That's absolutely, absolutely normal. I will try, as always, guys, to be realistic and to tell you what's happening behind the scenes. Also, my understanding is that Chelsea, first of all, believe that this new appointment will be very important to impact on some of the players who were not so happy with Liam Rosenior, and so that could be an important appointment. Then it's going to be really important to understand who wants to take this job with or without Champions League. That is going to be a crucial point, Champions League football or not. But I can tell you that the Chelsea job is still very, very appealing to several important managers. And then...
So you know,
wait. Go back. He said what?
He said that the job's appealing to several managers. So you already know who these managers. Fabrizio Romano on live on Kings of the Bridge has basically confirmed he knows what couple of managers are still interested in the Chelsea job, guys. This is him.
And then we have to understand what kind of coach Chelsea want also to lead a slightly different project, because Chelsea will not change to take this job with or without Champions League. That is going to be a crucial point, Champions League football or not. But I can tell you that the Chelsea job is still very, very appealing to several important managers.
What does that tell you?
Hold on.
The job
Jem,
is,
he said important.
he said
he said-
important.
Yeah.
That's
Usually
important.
he just says managers. He said important. This tells me, this tells me Iraola is in that mix. I promise you. Iraola, Felipe Luis, and then they're gonna bring it in with the Cesc. Forget him. He's gonna stay. But include the Nagelsmann and them man
Yeah.
over there. Yeah.
I mean, to be quite honest with you, bro, Alonso. Yeah, I see a lot of people saying this Alonso as well. Get Alonso in. Anyone with a brain in their head would not be. Anyway.
And then we have to understand what kind of coach Chelsea want also to lead a slightly different project, because Chelsea will not change their view, still trusting young players.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh my God.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Done.
Oh, this is great. All right.
Oh, did he just say that? I need to go back a second. Did he just say what I thought he would like?
We have to
Yes, he
understand
did.
what kind of coach Chelsea want also to lead a slightly different project, because Chelsea will not change their view, still trusting young players, still developing top talents, still trying to win titles because that's what they want to do. But also at the same time, Chelsea in the summer will try to add some more experienced players to the squad. I already told you about this. The Chelsea want to go for players that can also help for the short term and not just for the long term. It doesn't mean too old players, but maybe proven at the highest level possible and try to help the squad develop in the best way possible. So I think Chelsea will have important weeks, important months ahead to find a new manager, to start this new strategy, including also more experienced players, and to try change the approach to the project on the pitch and off the pitch for some of the players. Chelsea already had some very good news recently. Reece James signing a new deal, Moises Caicedo signing a new deal. So from the players, there is total commitment. But now the manager is obviously going to be a crucial part of this story. Just some quick answers to many of the names you asked me. Andoni Iraola, today mentioned by many as a candidate for Chelsea job. Iraola will now start conversations with several clubs about the opportunity to take a job at the end of the season. Iraola is leaving Bournemouth and he has not signed anything with any other club. So Iraola is available. Let's see if Chelsea will go for it. At the moment, still early to say. Cesc Fabregas, many rumors about this. Cesc Fabregas is at the moment totally committed to the Como project.
Good.
So the idea of Cesc Fabregas is to continue next season at Como and to play European football with Como. That's what Cesc Fabregas want to do. Then, if Chelsea decide to go all in on Fabregas, guys, I will let you know. But at the moment, my understanding is that Fabregas is really, really committed to the Como project. Then, guys, important to mention also Enzo Maresca. Some of you asking me, is there a chance maybe Chelsea return with Enzo Maresca, who is available again on the market? No. Between Chelsea and Maresca, it's completely over, and Maresca remains a strong candidate to become the next Manchester.
He's just confirmed it. Enzo Maresca is going to Man City. We all fucking knew it. Stop trying to play the whole puzzle game. That was obvious. If anyone thought Enzo Maresca was coming back to Chelsea, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. That's what I'm going to say. Anyway.
City manager in summer 2026 or 2027 based on when Pep Guardiola decides to go. But at the moment, no Chelsea-Maresca reunion. Then someone is mentioning me what I said about Jose Mourinho, what they said about
him being the Chelsea manager. Fuck off, mate.
Fuck no.
5 minutes.
No.
Jose
No.
Mourinho is that Jose would love the Real Madrid comeback if they decide to go for him. It was said a few days ago, and now I see the story everywhere. So I can confirm that Mourinho would love to return to Real Madrid. But that's it at the moment. Mourinho and Real Madrid are not negotiating. At the moment, I'm not even aware of anything with Chelsea. I know this is always a big name, and so the special one is always the special one. But at the moment, on Mourinho, still nothing else to say apart that he has a clause into his contract at Benfica. On these guys and much more, let me know your opinion.
Cool story, bro. As always, thank you for your cool stories. Chris, you can take the stage.
I don't think this man reads the briefs he's given by Chelsea, because if he did, he would realise that he's contradicted himself after every sentence. The next one is just something completely different. I mean, he's saying about going for a different approach, but then saying that they're still going to be going for young players.
Yeah.
He's someone that I don't really take much from anymore, and I think everyone else is probably feeling the same. But if they need to get this manager situation sorted quickly. I want it done quickly, just like Bournemouth. You know, they knew Iriola was going, and only the other day they sorted their manager situation out. I don't want to be going into the halfway through the World Cup or into the summer window without a manager there, because they need to know what they're working with. And in regards to Chelsea's hierarchy and their PR briefs about we're investing in Liam Rosenior, we're looking at summer targets with him. I mean, if I was Rosenior, I'd be pretty peed, because all of this has come out, and the next thing they're just gone, boom, pull the plug, gone. It's embarrassing.
You're totally right there, Chris. I completely forgot about all those briefs which just came out about we're fully committed with Liam for the summer. Liam's giving his targets of what he wants already. It just shows how knee-jerk reactionary they are, and they just don't actually follow any of their briefs they actually put out. It's embarrassing.
And this is a reason why we say it as well, is why we know what briefs just to scroll past quickly, because we know the real ones or the potential ones to listen to a bit more than the others.
Enzo Fernandez has had 8 managers now: Graham Potter, Bruno Salter, Frank Lampard, Mauricio Pochettino, Enzo Maresca, Callum McFarlane, Liam Rosenior, Callum McFarlane.
I'm not surprised, and this is the second season that we've had 3 managers.
Well, I was just about to say something as well. I mean, look, I'm not putting Maresca on the same pedestal as Tuchel at all, but under Maresca, we had something going. They sacked him because they didn't get on with him, like Tuchel. So they brought in their man, Graham Potter and Liam Rosenior. Both of them then left on very short term after that, and then we had an interim. It's crazy. It's crazy how these people still have jobs.
Look who it is.
Indy.
Look who it is. Indy Bomber at 7 p.m. today, guys. Get tuned in. He's going to ring out a load of random names from his Chelsea source that are linked to the club. So, yeah, listen, it's going to be interesting now what they do. One of the things for sure, we know they're going to the end of the season with Callum McFarlane, right? Fair enough. Like, that was the most obvious thing, right? You get rid of Rosenior. What do you do in this moment? You put Callum in. My next question to you 3, and I want you both to give me your thoughts on this, is going into the summer window. We've gone through a list on here before where we spoke about a number of coaches that could be linked to the club. We know that they're going to be self-reflecting now. We're being told they're going to be looking in the window, taking their time on their decision for this one, supposedly. Out of the list that we saw and the potentials of the ones that we know that are leaving at the end, like the Glasners and the Iriolas and all these, who do you honestly believe is the best person to come in next and take this club on?
So I'm going to go first here. I heard there was links today with a potential Baldy. So I'm glad to let you guys know it's me. Right. Self-reflection time. I want you guys to be a part of my project. I want to take over this club. I'm going to sack these clowns. I'm going to bring in top quality players that I want, who I believe that will win. And this is what we're going to do. Sanchez, see you later. Fofana, see you later. Let's see who else. Lavia, see you later. Garnacho, see you later. Sporting directors, see you later. Egg Barley, see you later. That, and then what we do is we then make Enzo Fernandez statue outside Stamford Bridge. No, but seriously, I am the baldy that we are linked with. Okay,
Bring him in. I'm sold.
I'll put that hat back on now.
I like the way you said get rid of Egg Barley, but I like the way you said I'm going to get rid of Egg Barley, and then I just thought to myself, he's the one that pays you, Matt.
Not anymore.
Paid by the people.
Yeah.
Let's start with Chris on this one. Chris, who for you do you feel moving forward in the summer? I know it's early doors. We're not holding anyone against what they feel now because it can change once we get to the summer, but once we get new lists and we learn a bit more. But from your perspective, who do you feel would be good to come into this club and lead us long term?
Yeah, it is a difficult one because you've got so many things to factor in. Whether the owners are going to admit defeat and finally give some reins over to a manager who's going to be coming in, what the squad's going to look like, what's this manager's experience. It is so tough. But I mean, for me at the moment, I mean, Cesc Fabregas would be great. He's got an affiliation with the club. You look at the managers he's played under in the past. I've heard reports saying from a guy within Chelsea how he knew he was going to go on and be a fantastic manager just by the way he understands football. He would be great for a level to link the fans to the team, to the manager. But for his own career at the moment, Chelsea is not a very a clean and positive place. Philip Luis, for me, I think he's another one that could be a potential. It's yeah, I think for me it would be maybe one of those two, depending on how the owners want to deal with this window, because unfortunately they're going to be here for this summer window, and what they're going to do with this manager. Are we going to start to see them change what they do with their managers in regards to how much control they give them? So it's one to watch out for.
Benji?
My number one would be Nagelsmann.
Wow.
My absolute number one. If I could bring in anyone, he would be my absolute number one. I think my number two would then be, and I think this is more realistic. I think Alonso would be more realistic. You know, he can work with kids, and you know, he's a good man manager. He's been at Madrid. I think he did a fairly good job. I think he got sacked for the wrong reasons over there. But I would bring him in. Now the bad thing about him is he's not a specialist with the back four. Nagelsmann would be the only one that would pretty much be a tactical magician, if I may say that. Like, he's tactically elite. Well, Alonso is better with the back three, wing backs, and we've seen that through the unbeaten season that he had. Even at Madrid, when he played a back three, he was very good. So with the back four, he is a little bit spooky, but like we said, he's still young, he's learning. So yeah.
Sorry, Benji, I was going to ask you quickly because I think, sorry to jump in, guys. I think is it fair to say, Benji, that you do watch quite a bit of German football? Is that right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
So obviously, it's interesting to hear your take on two managers that have obviously been in the Bundesliga. Nagelsmann, I don't really know too much about his sort of tactical approach and his football philosophy, if you like. What do you think else he can give us with the team that we've got at the moment? And would it be would the young type of profiles that we're probably still going to be going for through the summer, will he be able to work that in with a team that can compete on multiple fronts next season?
100%. Now, Nagelsmann has never had a very young team. He's always had a mixed team. Whatever team you go to, even when he was the manager at Bayern, he had a very young team, but it was very mixed. Like, he had senior figures. So I think if Chelsea is going for Nagelsmann, I think we need to mix at least like a John Stones, at the defense, and like at least a very good striker that can compete with JP, a good left wing, and then a a leading goalkeeper. Why? It's because you take off some pressure from the head coach. Like the head coach can do what a head coach is supposed to do, not just babysit, if you know what I mean. You let the older heads kind of lead the young, the younger ones, and in that type of fashion. But he's been improving a lot of young players. I think people forget how bad Konate was at Leipzig before this manager took him. Uh, he was absolute dog shit. He was the reason why Konate got sold to Liverpool for that massive of a fee. Lukeba played his best football under him, I'm pretty sure. So he's been having a lot of players. Nkunku, I'm pretty sure Nkunku played under him too. Yes, he did. I think that breaking season where he scored a lot of goals, like I think he had like 60 GNA or was some type of fuckery number. So he's been having a lot of players that he's been improving. Tactically elite, one of the best tacticians in the world right now. You only have Pep and those type of guys that is pretty much over him.
That's what we want, right? That's what we want. We want
Yeah. Now the only bad thing people can really say about him is, oh yeah, but he has Germany, and for Germany he's not good. I want to remind people, Hansi Flick was the worst German manager of all time. Now this motherfucker came out, took Barcelona, and took them to the treble, and arguably should have at least gone to one Champions League final if he didn't fumble the bag against Inter Milan. So you can say whatever you want about an international manager apart from Southgate, but the rest of them that's been in the club level, even Luis Enrique, the rest of them like the Luis Enrique, Nagelsmann, and the Flicks that has been winning at club level, gone into international. Once they come back, they always get better. That's just how the trend always goes. So for me, I think he must be the first pick, and then we can just go from there.
Yeah. Just quickly, within like 5 minutes ago, I've just got Ben Jacobs that's coming on in 20 minutes. So he'll be coming in while we're on live, and he will be sharing. I'm going to try and get the ins and outs of it. We're going to get the dirty parts of it, where we can try and find out like what's going on behind the scenes if he knows of anything. So stay tuned. 6:45. Ben Jacobs will be here. He's just messaged me now. I'll send the link. But before we obviously go on from that, I want to bring in my boy Ads. The boy is here. What you saying, my bro?
Good, bro. I'm good as for me, it's a good day, bro. When you see Jem knows me a long time in it, so you know when I'm in a Chelsea top, it's a good day. But we'll talk.
What are we saying, bro? Like Rosenior's gone, he's sacked. It's probably the shortest reign of a manager at Chelsea in terms of coming in and leaving so quickly. We just watched the Fabrizio Romano video as well, where he's gone through, and he didn't give us a lot, but really the fact that basically, the pressure is building. They still believe we can get the FA Cup. They still believe that we can get European football, and this is why they've made the decision they've made. So, what's your overarching thoughts to the decision?
I'm giving you like very live and direct reaction to it. I only got this as I was coming back into my yard, bro. So I'm just seeing this. I was in my different top. Let me just put on a Chelsea top because this is what I was talking about. What I wanted, I wanted a change of management because this isn't me putting it all on Rosenior. We have to be logical here because some people online will just do agendas and be like, "Oh, it's on Rosenior. That's why we're doing bad." It's not all on the manager because I was there. I'm old enough to remember when we signed this guy. I was like, "Don't sign a guy like this because it doesn't make sense." You're a failing institution and you're hiring within the failing institution. So guys who are not doing well in their main job, you've gone and hired Strasbourg, and the Strasbourg manager. You derailed their season, and you derailed our season by sacking Maresca, who shouldn't have been sacked, by the way. You bring in this guy, and then while it started off good, and I thought, you know what, maybe he'll do something good here, and it just started pretty decent. But when it went left, oh boy, it went left because nothing went right after that, bro. It was dark. It was dark. So listen, as much as this season isn't on Rosenior and the recent form is a lot on the players, but mainly, of course, on the ownership. There was no excuse for this run of form under any ownership, with any players, and the manager is accountable for that. And at the end of the day, right? I've had plans to go to Wembley and watch the game on Sunday because that's the only game that really matters for me. And I've seen that for the last few months. Like the only really game that matters for me is semi-final FA Cup to get to the final because we've had a pretty good draw. We all know that we had a pretty good draw. I thought we were going to beat Port Vale, and that's the only game I've been confident in the last 4 months. And guess what? That's the only game we've won in the last 3 or 4 months, and we know this. So it's good that this has happened for me. They found their fall guy. which is unfortunate on him. But at the end of the day, you can't defend the results. You can't defend some of the management in game. And for me, when I lost it with Rosenior, when maybe it was earlier than some people, maybe it was later than some people, but when I lost it with Rosenior, and I said it to Jem a lot of times as well, when you decided to drop Rob Sanchez in the Champions League, in the first leg against the champions of Europe, the best team in the world at that point in time, right? Pretty much. A team that we actually did beat to become World Club Cup champions, which is why on my phone case, I have this. I still have this. And when I go around, I have to turn it around so that people don't see that because I get mocked in public because of this. But I'm still very happy about that moment because we had a great final. Sanchez balled out and he did his thing. And even though I'm not a big fan of Sanchez, Jem and everybody else here knows that too. You don't drop your main goalkeeper and then bring it in a novice who I didn't rate and still don't rate, who never had, again, maybe guys will correct me, had he played a game in the Champions League before in his whole career?
Yep. Correct.
How many? He hadn't played any? None. Right. So again, I'm not a qualified millionaire manager, right? But I have enough knowledge to know that you don't put in somebody who's a rookie against the champions of Europe. It don't make sense. So when he done that, and we were doing well, we were winning. Oh, sorry, we were doing well. 2-2 in the Champions League away from home. That's a good result. Until guess what? The keeper you brought in for his footwork gave the ball to Vitinho, and the rest is history. So listen, I'm not mad at him going because it gives us a better chance of beating Leeds. Does it save the season? No, but it gives me a smile on my face. And listen, if we leave with a smile on my face and we win a trophy potentially, it's more than Arsenal can maybe say. It's definitely more than United can say. So yeah, man, that's where man's at, bro. That's where man's at.
Hey, you're only here for a short time. That's right. Is that correct?
I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time, brother. So let's keep it good.
No.
I do. It was good. Right. Talksport say Chelsea will pay Liam Rosenior £4 billion thanks to the break clause in his 6.5-year, £24 million contract. So 174,000 per game, 364,000 per win. Who do you think should be replacing him? But £4 million, guys, to get rid of him.
You know what as well, Jem? These dates or these like the region of the contracts, just pick it out their arse. What's 6.5 years? Like it's such a random amount of time. I can't believe, and it's just a football thing, how mediocrity you still get paid such a large chunk of cash. I just don't understand it. If you get sacked from a job, you get probably like a month max.
Get nothing. Sometimes you just walk away with P45.
Yeah, that's all you get, but the P45 is all you get, bro.
Ads, we were talking earlier about, because I know you're going to dip in. We were talking about earlier what next, who would be the perfect, I would say perfect, but the best long-term manager to look at next for this summer period. And you know that they've got themselves on hella pressure because not only have they told us that they've got to sort out the experience with the squad, and they've thrown all these comments out there, which is recorded now, saying, making it sound like they're going to change. They've also now said that they're self-reflecting in this statement today, their club statement, and they're going to take their time with the long-term manager. So my question to you is, who out of a number of names that are going to be available, because there's quite a big list of names that are available, not all experienced, don't get me wrong, but it's a long list of names. I mean, who would you want to see come in?
I mean, who would I want to see is very difficult from who I expect to see, because obviously somebody like Benji, who's very much in the know with a lot of the managers, top managers who might be actually looking to manage us, that's cool. And I don't have that, there's necessary depth of knowledge, because I can go and say, oh, I wouldn't mind Enrique, I wouldn't mind Flick, but these top managers want to manage this iteration of Chelsea Football Club. You know, the Chelsea Football Club that we all grew up on, with Roman Abramovich and, leaders across the pitch, that was different. A team that was constantly winning trophies, that was different. This club now where, again, Luis Enrique, I mentioned, was ridiculing this ownership, saying that what kind of manager would want to work for these lot, the top managers? They don't want to work for us. That's why Nagelsmann a few years ago was rejecting opportunity to work with this ownership. So ultimately, I don't mind guys like Iraola. I think he's a good coach. There's other guys that maybe that are more in our ballpark that we could go and attract. But ultimately, get rid of the directors, bro. Don't talk to me about managers. Don't talk to me about players too much. Talk to me about these directors, because those are the guys who got a pay rise last summer when really they shouldn't have got anything. They were lucky to get top 5, and the Club World Cup was something that we didn't expect. We didn't expect it. And that was great. But what did they go and follow that up with? Do I need to even say it? Because I've said it many times on shows like this. We know the wingers that they signed. We know the centre-backs that they didn't sign when Cole will get injured. So ultimately, this is nice. I mean, again, I'm going to not celebrate. I don't want to celebrate a man losing his job, really. Even though he's getting $4 million for losing his job and being bad at it for time in it. But ultimately, listen, like I'm happy for Leeds because it gives us a better chance of winning a game that we're probably underdogs to win. So other than that, I can't really be too happy because no matter who we get, I need to see what we're gonna do in the summer. But
Yeah.
I don't know what you might add with this in it because obviously, Ben Jacobs thing later on, but otherwise, like it's again,
it's hard. It's time. We have no time either. Like we have so much to try and manage within a short amount of time. The World Cup is going to be a big stage for probably transfers. We all know that, and they love that to be able to try and find a star player within that, probably a young up and coming player to be in that. But like you said, Ads, you're like, and I think we're all in the same agreement here. The sporting directors have to go because I can't have them making another decision at this club. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think this might finally be the time that they do go. It just has to. I just can't. I can't see how, from a track record, that they can stay. I just can't see it happening. But if it does,
I can see it because we're seeing a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense under this ownership. So one more thing that wouldn't make sense is keeping these guys, to be honest.
Yeah. A little bit of information from Ben Jacobs, who will be here in 15 minutes, in regards to what he thinks happened behind the scenes of the Liam Racine seconds. It says here, several senior players are unhappy with the tactics and the training sessions. That was one of the reasons. He goes on to say that some players felt Enzo Fernandez's punishment was harsh as well, which is interesting. And the third one is the players didn't like being attacked in post-match interviews despite poor games. Remember what I said to you guys earlier? How interesting. There you go. Well, I said to you guys earlier about the agents getting involved and speaking to the hierarchy. That's that there. So we'll get him to elaborate, which he will do, as we know, on these points when he comes here and more. And we'll also find out from him about the who he thinks will be lined up for the summer, the options anyway. But does this shock you really? These kind of things really and truly? Because to be quite honest with you, the tactics and training sessions is the most obvious, right? Because of the way we've been playing. 1 win in 8 games, guys.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, so that there don't shock me. The Enzo Fernandez thing doesn't, because I didn't think that every player would be okay with the fact that he couldn't be available for Man City, which was still kind of a big game in a way, you know. And then obviously the players being, I knew that anyway, because obviously I heard that. But again, doesn't shock me that they've come out and shared the feelings towards it. But what's your thoughts, guys? Honestly,
sorry, Jem. Do you think that their change of manager now will impact their negotiations with Enzo Fernandez? Do you think that was one of the big keys? Was that he's not looking, or he's thinking, I'm struggling to have a renewal of a contract when we've still got Liam Rosenior within the within the model, really? Do you think that is now going to change the direction of his future potentially at the club?
That's really interesting. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. I think especially yesterday, I think what Enzo Fernandez kind of did last night, standing there for longer than he should, and obviously I was hearing that they were actually telling him to come back, and he stayed out there. I think that was a statement as well. I think it's really interesting, Chris, you said that. It wouldn't surprise me if Enzo Fernandez said, if this clown is still here, I just cannot be at this club.
It's like he was staying out there and saying, I am with you. I'm not with them. I'm not with him. I am with you. Yeah. And I want to stay out here and show you that I am. And I think that could be probably maybe for a lot of other players as well, you know, like your Marc Cucurellas and stuff. This could be a big turning point in how they see their future at Chelsea Football Club. This summer's going to be massive for a few of our, you know, key players that we potentially want to keep, and including Cole Palmer.
Yeah. Jem, you got a message here, mate, from Dan.
Dan, what you saying, my boy? Big up to you, big up Jim. After attending the game last night, the writing was on the wall. Sports directors and owners next. Dan, bro, firstly, sorry for having to go and watch that, mate, because that must have been painful. I'm not going to lie, bro. I was lying on my bed sleeping after they scored the first goal. And you know, it was so bad, right? We were all here before the game, right? And we all sat here and said, and Pi said, Mitoma's going to have 1 or 2 shots on target. And I said, Danny Welbeck will score in this game. If you want to make money, just on Danny Welbeck scoring, right? This fucker didn't come on the whole game. I thought was going to get away with it. He came on for 5 minutes and he scored.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I said before the game, the game was gonna end 3-0. I said it was gonna be a 3-0 spanking, and even that was right. And I'm never right with the predictions.
That is true. That is true. But no, again, full disclosure, Jem, I was talking to you about yesterday, I think the day before the game, bro. I was saying, who am I trying to captain on FPO, bro? Welbeck. And I forgot. So when I saw him on the bench, I was like, okay, I messed up. Oh no, I didn't mess up. And then he come off the bench and scored. So, bro, this Chelsea team, when fans are predicting how bad we're gonna be, it's a wrap, bro. Like that's why maybe the cup's gonna be different, but we know the league's been wrapped up. So all these briefs about maybe the new manager can get us Europe, bro, we're closer to 14th than we are 5th. So what's this talk about getting Champions League? And for me, I don't count Europa League and Conference League as Europe, bro. Get me out of that.
I'm saying that. Yeah,
we don't need that. We don't need that.
Yeah.
May I also say, I don't know if you saw my tweets earlier. I did predict that he would get sacked during this time. I said this is why it's gone viral on Twitter at the moment. I said if he's going to be sacked, my prediction will be announced between 5 and 6:30. If not, maybe a little bit later. I said if he doesn't go tonight, then he's still in a job. And not all be saying, was it 5:15 that they announced it that he got sacked? So
yeah, something like that.
A little bit crazy on TikTok on Twitter right now, which is quite funny. But yeah, no, I agree with Ads. It's just a pain, and it's just all painful. But at the same time, guys, like I don't want us to lose the real big message in this. Is that I feel like with the managers we've seen in the past, including Rosenior, it's easy just to throw everything on them and blame them. And I don't think it's specifically his fault because he shouldn't have been here in the first place. Yes, you should do a better job tactically and stuff. I get that, but he just wasn't ready, and we knew that. But the energy should always still stay the same, and that is looking past the managers and continuing to put the pressure on. And Chris, that's the question I asked you. Do you think the pressure from the protests, from what we've heard from Egg Barley to what the manager's sacking, to everything that's happened in this last week or two, do you think this has really been down to the fact of how disgruntled and upset and the protests and everything that's come together over the fans and stuff for the protesting as well?
Absolutely. This is every sort of key individual moment over the last few weeks has just become such an evident big picture that it is hard to ignore now. Yesterday we saw at Brighton, I don't really like the look of it, but it's understandable. There was Rosenior chance directly at him, and it was really big last night and evident that he was well out of his depth. And yeah, these last 3 weeks have been, I think, absolutely vital into the owners taking notice, the players speaking out. The results have been poor. You think about it, our points tally on the league hasn't changed in 5 games. And everyone else is catching up. But yeah, this big picture has led to this, and I think it needs to be a lot more. I think that the board needs to be seriously reflected on in the summer, because these guys up above Clear Lake and stuff, they're getting their money from private lenders. They want to make sure it's going into the right places, and at the moment they keep having to try and find more money because the board aren't doing a good enough job to get results on the pitch. So there's going to be more probably coming in the summer. But I will say, obviously it's off topic, but I'm really interested to see what route is now next for Liam Rosenior. How long he takes his time out. Does he go back into punditry? Does he go down to lower levels and come back up again? Because this has dented him massively. It's dented him big time.
The only other thing as well, if we all go, because it's clearly got past my mind, and we haven't forgot about it, but I think this Rosenior stuff's overtook it. It's Esteval's grade 4 hamstring tear, man.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Really bad,
really feel for him.
Really, really bad. That's a bad injury he's got there, And apparently he wants to go to Brazil. I've just read something now, funny from Ben Jacobs again, saying he wants to go to Brazil because he feels that being in his, around these people and the people he knows around there, that he thinks he can potentially make it back at some point in the World Cup to try and at least feature. But I think a grade 4 tear on a hamstring, you're out for a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks.
At his age as well.
Yeah, for his age. It's bad, man. It's bad news for us. It really is.
It's a massive shame because, he's obviously just come back, and then it's just a Chelsea thing. It's just a Chelsea thing. Like, We can never have anything nice. We just can't. And yeah, it's a massive shame because I think Maresca should have utilised him more at the start when we really did need him at that point. Then under Liam, he got injured. She just came back. But yeah, I mean, they're saying he's not even going to be in the World Cup now as well. So I think for him being on the big stage as well, from a marketing perspective for the club, it's terrible as well.
Yeah, I think it's not good. We needed sort of something to get excited about towards the end of the season, and seeing Esteval potentially growing and have a flair. Bless him. I feel sorry for him. He's not been able to have a decent run in the team. It is definitely disappointing, but I mean, the season was done anyway. We're not really chasing much now. But I've got a question to ask you guys quickly. Sorry, if anyone wants to jump in on the reaction to Esteval before I ask it, then go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No. Just obviously this summer window is for the board and the owners. If they're going to be changing approach, it's going to be absolutely massive. Do you think that the World Cup is going to really hinder how much they can do in the summer? Because, you've got players away, it's going to be a lot harder, I think, for them to get any sort of business done early with the World Cup going ahead. Do you think that we're going to be left disappointed based on having the World Cup, really?
There's two ways of thinking about this. Is the level of players that we're going to be going for, are they going to be in World Cup squads? Yes, maybe some of the lower end teams, probably, but they're probably going to get knocked out early. I don't think we're going to see any changes in terms of that, in my opinion. Yeah, the World Cup is obviously the biggest part of kind of the football calendar. And I think from a player's perspective, they won't want to have their focus taken away. Their agents certainly don't. So yeah, I don't. I think it could impact if we were looking for larger, bigger players, but I just think with what we're looking for, I doubt we're going to even be going for them. I think experienced players will be going for free opportunities, and maybe that Brighton defender.
Wait, so quickly, is the question: how do you think the World Cup will affect our transfer window? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see us maybe like move with a bit more urgency in the window to be like, okay, this is somebody who's hot on the market. Let's attract this type of player, right? Because sometimes Chelsea have done that in the past. And we've seen other big clubs, whether it's a James Rodriguez have a great World Cup and then he's gone to Real Madrid. These kinds of moves, we wouldn't mind seeing it because it's a change from our current structure. It's all about buying young players who have, high asset potential, and then we want to flip them for a profit. But that's good when you're signing talents like Esteval to a degree, but not when you're bringing me, then you're accompanying that with Gittins, who's a bit of an unproven product, and then also Garnacho, who's a proven bad product, to be honest, in the Premier League. I mean, and that's me saying it as nicely as I can with Garnacho. So ultimately, we'll see what the World Cup does. I think to Matt's point earlier, there has to be some sort of change in terms of how the ownership are moving. So there has to be some sort of adjustment, but we just don't know how big adjustment is going to be. To be honest, we have to sort of wait. You have to be proven. You have to show us something before we can believe in anything new.
100%, and I think that the sort of bigger name players or sort of experienced players that we're going to want to go for, they're going to be potentially going further away from us, depending on how well they do in the World Cup. Because the agents might go, look, he's having a great World Cup. He definitely deserves more than this. So we could, that they could be looking at the sort of young potential future stars in the World Cup and say, right, we can get him now for a decent amount of money. So I think these bigger name players might be getting further away from us with this World Cup, depending on how they do.
But again, I don't mind another couple of maybe younger players if it's good for the team. But ultimately, we all know, we've watched Chelsea Football Club for the best part of 15, 20 plus years, at least. So we know what it takes to build a good football team. We've also seen what it takes to build a bad football team, which is what we've kind of done. So ultimately, we know if we're going to bring another young player or two, obviously we've got Quenda coming in the summer and probably somebody else that I'm forgetting about, right? Let's partner some experience, That's what we need to do.
I agree. I'm gonna be a little bit on the other side, to be honest. I do believe we can bring in good quality players. It may not be superstars, if I'm gonna say that. But thinking back to it, like you have a lot of players in this market. I just don't realize how people are not really into it. Maybe I'm just too nerdy. Maybe I'm just too nerdy. But you have a lot of players, like players that we used to rate and they haven't really dropped off too much info. Maybe them, they've been having a bad season or what. On the market for pretty much cheap, and they used to go for like 8,100 before. You have a lot of players that you can actually pick up from. So I'm just gonna say like you can actually some type and some way save this team this summer with quality signings. I hope that we do at least 3 senior figures and then 1 young kid, and preferably in midfield if I could decide. I don't really think we need more in attack. I think in midfield, yeah, that nigga is Sugo and Lavia. Yeah, take them out. The rest is fine. Barco's already a done deal. I don't really think you can do too much about it unless you want to send him on a loan, which could be possible now when Rosenior is sacked. Bring me Keith Smith. That's the kid I want. Bring me Keith Smith. Keith Smith and 3 seniors. I will be very happy in the summer, to be honest.
I'm
That
not
kid,
trying to hear
oh
about
my
kids no more, bro.
goodness.
I'll be honest. I'm not trying to hear about no more kids, bro. Like we got Quenda and that reminded me, Omega as well. So like we got kids coming. So like why am I hearing more talk about kids?
Everyone's forgetting about Sapayev as well.
Yeah, but Sapa is coming. Isn't he coming next year? Or is he coming in the summer too?
He's
Oh no, he's going to the World Cup. No,
He's coming to Chelsea.
This summer.
this year.
Yeah.
Bro,
Oh,
Benji,
shit.
we have enough kids, bro. A lot of kid talk, bro. Like, what are we doing there, man? We're Chelsea.
No, but like you see, but
I want to hear about this.
But we have the mids. Like, who the fuck is Omega? Like, we have Megamind, that fuck of a kid, and then Kenda. Yeah, I really like Kenda. Sapaev, he's just a midget. Like,
Hey, don't. It's not very nice, Benji. Remember,
Yeah,
there's
that's
some-
what-
well,
there
he
are-
is.
there is
He
some
is.
midgets here, Benji. Come on.
Man.
No, but like, no. But he is. He's a very short Asian individual from Kazakhstan.
Whoa. Let's calm down. So let's just establish the fact that in this team, right, we still have a lot of quality young players, right? So that's not bad. This is just because we don't like the model. I think we all agree we don't like the model. Maybe Benji likes a bit more than us. That's fine. But we're not here to now say that Esteban's a bad player. Some of our other younger players are all bad players. They're not. We have a lot of good young players. But the point is, and I think you obviously did mention it as well, Benji. We do need to obviously get the right experience around them because, again, not to dig at any more of our players because I spent all season doing it, right? But tossing, we know that he needs to go. That's an example of an experienced signing that we got. But is it good enough? No. Now, a few years ago, we signed somebody that maybe Benji would call an OAP in Thiago Silva. And he was an OAP in football terms.
Yeah.
I get what?
Yeah.
Guess what? That was a world-class OAP who was there for us to win the Champions League. And even a couple of seasons afterwards, when he's like pushing 40, he was our best centre-back.
Yeah.
Alongside guys who were 24, 25, 26. So like at the end of the day, we talk about experience, which is good, but it's about the right type of experience. And ultimately, it's about quality. And this is Chelsea Football Club, yeah? Get quality in the door. While we still have our name, we still have some clout, and we're still actually, to be fair, re-signing top players because we re-signed Reece James, that's quality. We re-signed Caicedo, that's quality. We'll see some of the other top players. Some of these guys are already on death row contracts, but we have to get that done now in terms of getting quality players. Because you go another season like this, buying more kids, and then it goes left with another rookie manager, let's say, you're going to lose your clout very quickly. And then you could end up like Arsenal have for 20 plus years without a league title and hopefully more,
And
So
ads.
Benji, you don't want to see that, Benji. None of us.
No. Well, I'm the last person that want to bring in more kids. I'm just saying, bring in the right kids. That's what I'm saying. Don't bring in the Omegas and the ginger walking carrot through this door. Bring me at least like a Keith Smith that is one of the better, well, in my opinion, the best young midfielder in the world right now. Together with the Jean Neves and the rest. Bring me John Stones on a free. That motherfucker is free. He's 31.
Whoa.
What?
John Stones, brother.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, don't
Yes.
diss my John Stones, brother.
Yes.
I think
John
so.
Stones would be an elite type of on a free. Yes. On a free.
No, he'd be a great signing for our reserve team where he'll play 5 games a season.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, let him do that.
No, ads. I promise you. You was probably the same motherfucker that said, "Don't bring Thiago Silva. He's too old."
No, and Jem can clarify that. So for starters, secondly, we're talking about John Stones. Again, Fofana, we signed for, I don't know, 80 mil, and even man like Hashim Niaz in the chat said B-Tech Fofana. I was there, and Jem was there too on Jem's show long time ago. Again, I know Jem a long time, bro. Even talking about the likes of Fofana, saying that don't sign this guy because of the injury record, blah blah blah. Even though I did rate him in France, and he came to Chelsea, and what has he done since? And now it's fashionable to cuss Fofana. When I was doing this 2 years ago, that's why I don't need to talk about Fofana and saying silly names and stuff like that. I don't need to, because, bro, I've been saying it for years. So when you say something for years, you don't really get the same energy to keep saying it. And that's why I don't need to say the kid thing anymore. I know what's good for Chelsea Football Club because I've watched this club for 20 plus years, bro. So I know what's good, I know what's bad. And clearly, I'm no expert, but clearly I know more than these billionaires who are maybe experts in finance and wherever they were before in Clear Lake and stuff. But in football terms, these mans are no experts, bro. These men are rookies, and they've proved it for 2-3 years now. And I ain't trying to see any more years of my time and your time and all of our time being wasted watching nonsense, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah. So, did you answer my question, Eds, about what manager you want?
I think so. What did I say? I said no, but who are we gonna get though? Realistically,
I'm not trying to It's not a trick question. I just want to know from your own personal preference. You know,
what's the short list? What's the short list? What's the short list though?
It's not a short list. It's the fucking essay list, more like.
We have to get somebody who wants to respect the ball, right? So is that part of the requirements? You have to respect the ball. Is that what we? I like Iraola, right? But he's a good coach, but I don't know if he's going to be enough. We need strong management, bro. We need somebody who's a strong. I don't know if we're willing to go and sign strong management. Somebody's not going to be willing to be a yes man. So that's why these directors need to go before I can be like, oh yeah, Iraola could be good here, or this other, new age manager could be good here, because I can go and say Enrique, or I can go and say, let's say Bielsa, but they're not going to work under these kind of management. These kind of directors, it's just not going to work, bro.
I said the same. I said my problem is not the manager. The next manager coming in is not my issue. My issue is the sporting directors. I think whatever manager we bring in, there's good managers out there. Iraola, don't get me wrong, I may be crushing him, that's just how I am, but he's a good manager, but he's only gonna get to the next level if you actually back him with, some experience and the right players for his system and how he wants to play. Not how the directors want to play, how he personally wants to play. This is why I couldn't really give a damn about the manager. Of course, I have my preference, but if these directors gonna stay with Iraola, it's just gonna go left once again.
What would you guys do if Gary O'Neill was linked?
Yeah, I'm supporting Madrid.
Yeah,
I might as well support PSG or Bayern.
I know they never will, but it would be inevitable. I mean, imagine if we're halfway through the World Cup, still not got anyone in mind. I think alarm bells. I mean, I just think it'd be suicidal if they did. So I think it's between Iraola. They're saying Fabregas.
Fabregas is out. He's out. He's staying.
Yeah, of course. And I wouldn't want him to be at the club anyways, because I want him to have his trajectory at Como.
Sure.
But
yeah,
who else? Alonso allegedly. I mean, what about Xavi? Is Xavi? He's not really managing anymore. He's not managed since Barcelona, is he?
No, but I just see this coming as well from Andy Jacobs, who's talking about John Terry, basically saying that I've been told John Terry wanted to take over until the end of the season, but they didn't want him, and they told him in no uncertain terms that he will never ever get the job.
Joke. It's a joke. I said this at the beginning of the stream, Jem.
John Terry hasn't got any managerial real experience, so I kind of get it.
Who's going to be like the caretaker for like the weekend and the rest of the season? Has that been decided?
Or the Ginger McFlurry.
That's confirmed. McFarlane again.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you got a draw against Pep, so that's something. If you get to the final, I'm clutching at straws here, but we'll see.
Well, we've only seen him really in that one game, haven't we? To be fair, so it'll be interesting to see how he sets us up and organises it. He was a second assistant. Well, he was the assistant to Rosenior, part assistant to Rosenior, wasn't he? So we'll see what happens. We've got Ben Jacobs coming at some point. It could be any time now, so keep an eye out for that one when he comes in. But AJ's in here as well. AJ,
in the palace as well. Yes, AJ.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
big up the panel, big up the chat, man. It's a big day.
It is
Big day.
indeed.
Is it a happy day? Are you happy with the news, or how do you feel like about the whole situation?
I'm happy with him being sacked. You know, fellow black man. Shout out to him. But hey,
Black, he's yellow.
the job was not being done. You know, and it's not fully his fault. He walked into a terrible situation. I don't think he should have even accepted that job. I don't know if that was an option for him, but hey, you know, he took it. The first couple games, it looked okay-ish, but then we also were playing some weaker type teams. So, you know, the proof is in the pudding. The past couple games, we haven't scored a goal. We're giving up so many goals. Like you got to choose one. You can't not score, and you can't also give up goals. Now that's just a recipe for disaster. So I think it was time. To be honest, I said he should have got sacked last week, you know, before the Manchester United game. So, you know, if you check the chat, you know, I was saying I think it's time for him to go because it's looking like a social experiment. It's not even looking like serious anymore. It just looks like a joke thing. So, hey, we're here now.
I just see that comment from Pies, isn't it? This is not a shock because he already made that clear the last time we went round for him. Don't you remember? He already knows how this is set up. And this is the problem we've got now. Any decent manager, are they really going to be interested in coming to this club after 8 managers? 8 managers since Enzo Fernandez arrived at Chelsea. He's had 8 managers. He's only been in 3 seasons.
Wait, 8?
Crazy.
8, yeah.
That's including like caretakers and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, including interims.
Oh, right. Ben Jacobs is in the building, man. I mean, he's probably thinking, Jesus Christ, what's all these people doing here? Wow. Like, what's going on? But Ben, how are you, mate? Long time.
Yeah, never a dull day at Chelsea. I think a few of us were off today, and then by about 11 a.m. we realised that we were going to be on until about midnight tonight. Welcome to Chelsea Football Club.
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, literally, sorry, Ben, but it just feels like Chelsea are always involved in the media more than any other football club in the Premier League. Ben. It feels like they've always got something brewing, you know. I saw your tweet not long ago. Actually, we all know Rosenior's gone. We kind of felt that we could preempted it earlier on in today with the amount of news that was coming out around the potentials of him going. Then there was talks about candidates, potential summer, and blah 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 blah. But just wanted to really get your side of it and your thoughts in terms of what you heard in and around to the reason why he got sacked, firstly, and you know, and how do you feel about how Chelsea and the board are managing things at the moment as well at the club?
Yeah, I mean, the sacking, they didn't really have a choice. You can't be Chelsea or any big club, lose 5 straight games, not score a goal. That run hasn't happened since 1912, the same year that the Titanic sunk. Then if you look at the form table since match week 26, you're talking about 9 games in a row in which Chelsea had only won 1 of those 9. And that means in the form table, they're second bottom with only Tottenham below them. So results are a factor, but it was a little bit more than that. It was also, in essence, senior players not buying into Rosenior's methods. I don't quite want to say he lost the whole dressing room, but parts of it definitely were upset, disappointed, disillusioned when Enzo Maresca left. They preferred his training methods. They felt they had a clearer tactical identity under Maresca. They thought they were building something with a manager that they had an affinity with. And then Liam Rosenior comes in. And for those that were Team Maresca, if you like, it was always going to be difficult. I'm also told that there were players that weren't clear on their individual roles. And I'm also led to believe that there was confusion around the Enzo Fernandez club-imposed ban, which wasn't just about Rosenior, it was also from ownership as well. But then he missed 2 games. Not every player was in favour of that, but some kind of felt it was the right punishment. But when then Enzo Fernandez returned, played in the starting 11 and was not the captain against Manchester United, that split the dressing room. And then when he became the captain against Brighton, that split the dressing room as well, because it shows you that a manager is maybe being indecisive with who his leadership team is. Now, Chelsea would argue it's a big leadership group. They're fully entitled to change their captain, but it's very rare, isn't it, when you're captain or vice captain, if they're starting, if they're on the field and they don't have the armband, if you're next in line with Reece James out and you're on the field and you don't have the armband, that's not normal. And I think some players believed, according to sources that I've spoken to, that was just kind of one example maybe of Liam Rosenior struggling to manage this dressing room. Now, in fairness to Rosenior, not an easy dressing room to manage, a fair few egos, a young playing squad, a lot of inexperience. And that's where you come to the next part of your question about how much of this is on Rosenior, his management, his relationship with the players, and how much of this is on the model and the sporting directors and the ownership and how they're acting in the market. And that's probably more one to cede to the fans to give their individual opinions. My perspective in my reporting, which I try and keep balanced, is that everything's under scrutiny at the moment, and Chelsea kind of know that. And the importance of this next appointment is obviously vital. But we said that about Rosenior, we said that about Pochettino, we said that about Potter. So every time they change a manager, they can argue the project gets set back and they have to do a reset, and that's fine. But we've gone through so many managers now that it can't keep being one step forwards, two steps back, on or off the field. So now, as I've reported many times, between the end of this season and summer 2027, they don't just have to show proof of success on the field, which is the most important. They have to now start showing proof of project. And proof of project is no longer about what you're going to do in 1 window, 3 windows, 5 windows. It's about what are you going to deliver tangibly in the next 12 months. And there's a lot of criteria all of a sudden for that have kind of been bubbling since 2022, getting the stadium plans from conceptualized to actual, even though that's more complicated than other clubs, getting a front of shirt sponsorship that meets the club requirements and valuation, getting Champions League football season in season, winning silverware, of course, but that's just sort of like a given. And I think it's difficult because there's a lot of voices, there's a lot of bits and flashes where you can go, okay, under Maresca, they were building something. They got a gold badge on their shirt. They won the Conference League. They were expected to, but it's still silverware. They qualified for the Champions League. And there's been a few false dawns, I think, back to Pochettino and maybe the last 10 games, certainly after that draw against Villa. And it looked like Chelsea, if they'd have stuck with Pochettino, could have built something in the off-season. So stability is the buzzword. But as I say, it can't just be stability and who they might sign and what they might spend and where they might be in 3 years' time or 5 years' time. Because as we head into 26, 27, by the end of that season, it will be 5 years under this ownership. It can't be seen as a new project anymore. It can only really be viewed at best as medium term in building. And if you're really looking at it in terms of the Arsenal project or the Liverpool project or the PSG project, within 5 years, they've all got further along. And in the case of Liverpool and PSG, they've got tangible silverware, whether domestic or European. So it's getting to the point now where there's practical other project yardsticks by which this can be judged. And I think the owners and sporting directors know that, but make no mistake, the heat at the moment, internally and definitely externally, is not just on Rosenior, who's paid the price. Everybody's under scrutiny and will continue to be, I would imagine, in the off-season.
Yeah, and that was what's going to lead to my next question, because we see in the club statement today, it said about them sort of looking at themselves, for example, in terms of the decision that they've made in the past, the long-term decision that they're going to make in the future in the summer with regards to the new manager. There's also, talks over the last couple of weeks about adding experience when it comes to the squad as well. And like you said, putting that aside, also for you to answer as well, if you could, the sporting directors as well, because you mentioned that everyone's under scrutiny at the moment. And I think the one thing us Chelsea fans are really struggling to understand is the vision, especially up to this point now. So are the sporting directors at this moment in time, who are meant to be supposedly guiding, but maybe giving knowledge to the owners on where to go and what's the best route to do, under scrutiny? Because we hear that they're getting pay rises at the end of last window because of how good they're doing and stuff. And all of a sudden, instead of progressing like we should have done, we've gone sort of down the hurdle of regressing. So it's another failed season, it feels like, at this time,
Yeah, I mean, let's make one thing clear. The aim was Champions League football, and getting or not getting that is not only on the playing squad, it's on the sporting directors, it's on the ownership. And as a consequence, they'll have to look at this season and determine what exactly was lacking, whether it was in the choice of manager, whether it's in the culture that they built. And this youth-led project has been hotly debated as a consequence. The challenge in answering your question on the sporting directors specifically is that there's 5 of them, and some of them are new. And Dave Fallows, for example, isn't really someone who joined from Liverpool that is about the hiring and the firing and the day-to-day. He's really in football development, which means that anybody young that has potential, anyone that doesn't succeed but is sold on for money, he's doing his job, and he's one of the best in class in the business. So somebody like him would be safe. Joe Shields and Sam Jewell, again, fall more into that category of scouting and global recruitment. So it all comes down to Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart. And what we know about Paul Winstanley is he was one of the candidates that was headhunted for the Tottenham vacancy. That was them approaching through a recruitment agency him rather than the other way around. And at this stage, the ownership will have to work out whether they feel a change is necessary, and if they do need to also restructure the model, because there's a lot of voices in there. But at the heart of it, it doesn't matter what sporting director you have unless they tweak this model to settle down, find stability, add experience. And that was evident against Brighton. It's not just about bringing someone in, are they right or wrong? Because that's a football debate. It's, are these the right characters? There's a reason why Bettinelli joined Man City, because they know he's a positive dressing room influence. There's a reason why, if you look last night, Brighton went 1-0 up, and the first thing Pascal Gross was doing on the field was shouting and screaming and communicating to his teammates to make sure they were organised, saying, you know what, this Chelsea team are dismal tonight. We can tell from minute 1 that's the case. Let's go and get that killer second goal. And they did. And there's a reason why when it flashes to the bench, you see the Chelsea players not featuring with their hoods over their head, with their heads down, sighing. There's not much communication on the field. So that is something that any sporting director would have to look at and realize that this is a project that will succeed based not just on top footballers, young or old, but top characters as well. And that's something that, in my view, they've got consistently wrong, which is why Chelsea lack maturity. They've had discipline problems, and we've seen that through multiple managers. So yes, it is possible that they look at executive restructuring as well over the summer. I have no information to suggest one name or another name is under threat. But you can't go through this volume of managers and keep taking on field 1 step forwards and 2 step back without senior executives also eventually coming under some form of scrutiny. It's the same with Johan Lange at Tottenham. And it will be surprising to me if, when Chelsea do their end of season review, even if it's led by the main 2 sporting directors and Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, if other names at the football club in whatever department, it might be the data department, it might be the injury prevention department, it might be the scouting department, it might be the owners or the leadership team reviewing the sporting directors as well. But if they're not having these tough, hard accountability questions, then this project is never going to move forwards.
Yeah. A lot of self-reflection is the word that we heard today in the club statement. You know, they need to look at all angles, not just the squad, everything that's going in and on and around them. And it's going to be one hell of another summer window, it feels like, around Chelsea Football Club. And that's what leads to my sort of next question to you is, obviously, Rosenior's out. So what do you know of? I know it's early doors, but what is the news around potentials in terms of coaches?
Yeah, so Chelsea really felt forced into this change, and as a consequence, it's not like they had a ready-made manager lined up. So we can speak about where they may travel, and we can speak about where they have made approaches in the past. And as we broke on TalkSport about an hour ago, you have, first of all, to reiterate that no candidates formally approached yet. And then if we come on to one by one possibilities, Andoni Iraola is expected to be one of the leading names approached. And although he's also a possibility for Athletic Club, along with Edin Terzic, sources close to Iraola say that he would like to stay in the Premier League and that he wouldn't be put off by, for example, a lack of Champions League football. Other managers might, but Chelsea still has a lot of pull. Question will be, is he the right fit stylistically? with this project, but he's a very safe pair of hands. He's got the best out of a lot of young players, and with backing, he could be somebody that makes the step up to a big six club and ultimately in the long run Champions League football. So he's one to watch, and sources tell me it will be a surprise if Chelsea don't form Iriola as one of the names on their shortlist, but only one of the names. No guarantee they're just going to go and hand the job to him on a silver platter. Julian Nagelsmann is interesting because there was a point in time pre-Pochettino where Chelsea were really serious about Nagelsmann, and this was obviously before he took the job with the German national team. And it was interesting because he interviewed face to face, and Chelsea sources were a bit underwhelmed or unimpressed by the attitude, because Nagelsmann basically told them, you offer me the job or you don't, but I'm not waiting around for some thorough long process. You know everything about me. If I'm right, you give it to me. If not, you move on, but I want a quick answer. And at the end of the conversation, character-wise, strategy-wise, Chelsea and Nagelsmann, because it was both sides, didn't really see a fit. So I'd be surprised making new inquiries, and I've been in contact with people close to Nagelsmann in case anything was to develop on the Manchester United front as well. I'd be quite surprised if Nagelsmann, who's still contracted to Germany beyond the World Cup, changed his mind, because he wasn't that sold on the model at the time. Luis Enrique, just to mention him, and again, let's not take this out of context on social media because he's not going to be a candidate. My information is that he's going to sign a new deal at PSG, keeping him at the club until 2030. But the only reason I bring him up is because Clearlake Bowley also interviewed Luis Enrique in previous processes, and he flew in person with what I'm told was almost a suitcase full of binders, which shows you the level of research. And he outlined Chelsea very respectfully, so not really in an arrogant way, but just passionately. This is how I'll do it. And if you like it, you hire me. And if not, then we're the wrong fits. But there wasn't much flexibility to be part, again, of a Chelsea model. So in some ways, like Julian Nagelsmann, and they decided to go in a different direction. And obviously, he's not going to be a candidate that is available now, because my information very strongly is that he'll stay at PSG. Then you have a few other names who were discussed in old processes, such as Eddie Howe, who's maybe the most interesting one because we don't know his situation at Newcastle. I'm certainly not suggesting that, like Iriola, he'll definitely make the shortlist, but he was spoken about in the build-up to appointing Maurizio Pochettino. Francesco Fariola's made a couple of shortlists. Felipe Luis was approached actually originally with a view to Strasbourg, and Edin Terzic is a name who might go to Athletic Club if Iriola doesn't, and again has some admirers within the club. And then you got Cesc Fabregas, who people close to Fabregas keep saying he wants to manage in La Liga or the Premier League one day, but he's fully invested in the Como project, and they have for much of the season been pushing for Champions League football. And then you have Marco Silva and Oliver Glasner, who I only really mentioned because they're kind of in the manager market this summer. Neither, interestingly, have been part of a Chelsea process, which I was quite surprised by, making some inquiries. I thought maybe Silva in particular could have been someone that at least had a formal conversation with, but not to date. So let's see whether that changes. But I'm kind of reticent to put a now shortlist.
No.
So it's very important, if people are reading this on social media, that they understand that these are names who Clearlake Bowley have had something to do with in the past.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, they've got to find out who wants it, who's prepared to take it on, knowing that other managers have failed. And are some of the names that I've mentioned, if they form part of the process, going to rule it out if Chelsea, as expected, now don't get Champions League football?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens moving forward with the club. And, you know, there's just so many things that they need to sort out. And, you know, we've sat here, Ben, and we spoke about the front of shirt sponsor, for example. Like, we're still waiting around for things like that. You know, it's just, I feel like this summer window is so big. And I mean, this would be my final question to you, is on the boards, I'm talking about the owners directly here. Do you think, based on what, I mean, if you base it on what we've seen, it's probably not going to happen, but do you think moving forward that they are willing to maybe look a little bit different towards the project in terms of, like we spoke about, experience and other things, various things?
Well, I think if this project, as has always been claimed, is evolving, you always have to look differently at it. It can't just be we always buy young, or we always do the same thing, or we always want time, or we're always going to invest in youth. Otherwise, all you are is cultivating assets. Some work great, some don't. You make a profit off them. You don't have a football club. You only have a model. So if they want on-field success, which of course they do, they have to move and evolve with the parameters of what they're looking for. And it's obvious that they've got enough youth. They've got enough players under the age of 23. They've got enough players for the future. They've got enough players coming through their academy in the age group of 18 to 21, which is why, for example, Jesse Derry made the bench against Brighton. They've got enough South American talents coming in. They've got enough pre-planning with Quenda and Emega arriving in the summer, and various loanees like Mike Penders coming back to the club. But like I said right at the top, if you look, even though it's a very underrated point, at football clubs that win silverware, in any big game, and this was definitely Chelsea with Lampard, with Terry, with Drogba, with Cole, with Cech, at any point, good result, bad result, fiery moment, red card, wonder goal, Champions League final. If you look at any given moment and you watch a full 90, you will see the impact of these characters. And that extends to players that are not playing. What's somebody like when they lose the ball? What's somebody like if they have a bad training session? What's somebody like if they're benched? What's somebody like if they're injured? And the well-run, successful clubs all across the world, and I'm not saying Chelsea don't do this, but we definitely see a lack of maturity and a lack of discipline compared to other big six clubs, or big five clubs, really, because Tottenham are kind of in the same bracket, if not worse than Chelsea. But we definitely see in Liverpool at their peak, Arsenal in their invincible years, Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson. The character can be as important as the player. So how do you get that character? Well, often it's born out of experience. So it's an older kind of player, which is why I mentioned Pascal Gross last night, or James Milner getting the move to Brighton, or why Andy Robertson and Liverpool are able to leave on such good terms, because Robertson's out the side. He doesn't mind because he understands, because club have been honest with player, player's been honest with club, and he likes the dressing room. He likes his teammates. They bond, they connect. And that character diligence, including for the new manager, is going to be as important as how the CV itself reads. And I think there's an appreciation from Chelsea, without throwing current players under the bus, that they lack those characters. They lack that bond. They lack that leadership. It's a collection of really promising stars, but it's never quite had time to gel. And the model should be moving to something that's more discerning, a higher bar for when you need somebody, a higher bar for the kind of character that they bring, and over time, less signings. But the challenge, and it's why we might not see a change in model that dramatically this summer, is that you get to that point and you want quiet windows, or you want your windows to come in waves more accurately. So every kind of 3 summers, you go for another revamp. And yet you could make an argument at Chelsea, Delap might go, they still might need a number 9. They're in the market for another creative attacker. They might be in the market for another central midfielder. They're in the market for a starting centre-back, and they might still, depending on Penders, be in the market for a number 1 goalkeeper. So after all of this spend, all the busy windows, all the money that's been spent, even if it could prove profitable in the long run, the spine of a team, a number 1 goalkeeper, potentially, a starting centre-back, definitely, maybe another starting midfielder, especially if Enzo Fernandez departs. Definitely some form of creative attacker. And if it was just to pluck a name out there, Morgan Rogers, it would be a starter. And if Liam Delap goes, João Pedro will need competition. So they've still got to find 3 or 4 starters before they can maybe slow down. And that's why I think that it will be a really busy and somewhat exciting, but also uncertain summer for Chelsea.
Yeah, thank you, Ben, as always, for giving us an insight into it. And I'm sure we're going to talk a lot more about Chelsea over the summer as well. And there's a World Cup as well. Are you going over to the World Cup? Are you doing?
I'll be following America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be in LA and then Seattle. And then if America get knocked out, who knows where I'll go, but I'll be with Maurizio Pochettino and America. It's quite a good gig because England are in Kansas, and then they keep having to travel from Kansas to games and back to Kansas, and Miami before Kansas, whereas America are all in LA except for basically 1 week in Seattle.
Who is your front runner for the World Cup?
Seeding makes a big difference, I think. And obviously, if teams like England and the other 3 seeded teams win their group, they get a bit of bracket protection, which is why I kind of am inclined to think that France are going to go all the way. I'm not that confident in England because I'd rather be pessimistic about England and be surprised. So maybe this is an element of the fan in me leveling expectations. But, England lose their seeding if they don't win the group, and they don't have a great record against Croatia. And it wouldn't surprise me if Croatia win the group, England finish second, and then they've got a difficult path. And if England win the group, from the quarterfinals onwards, it still looks pretty tricky. I think it's Brazil, and that might not be a given. And then you've got the heat conditions, which, as we saw at the Club World Cup, make it a bit more unpredictable and maybe lend itself towards some of the South American contenders doing well. So despite saying that, France is my number 1 pick. And then I think Brazil stand a really good chance as well, even though, as we found out today, Esteval William might miss the World Cup.
Yeah, Brazil over Spain. That's quite interesting, given obviously Brazil's recent form. And obviously with England, England, in terms of the team they've actually played of recent that have been of any quality, Senegal and Japan, they were quite handily beaten, in my opinion. So I don't know about England's chances personally.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Favorites, yeah.
Tuchel, though, great cup manager, and competition football, very different to warm-ups and friendlies. Same with Brazil, that doesn't really matter about form or instability in the build-up to the tournament before Ancelotti was hired. Chelsea fans know firsthand, you want Carlo Ancelotti in your corner in a winner-takes-all type environment. And that's why I kind of hope England prove me wrong, and that's why I think that Brazil under Ancelotti will go very far.
Yeah, I went with Argentina. I'm not gonna. I still think Argentina.
We know why you're picking Argentina. We know that.
No, it's not because of that as well. But Ben, thank you for your time. You're probably busy. I'll let you go. And listen, thank you for jumping on again. We appreciate the short notice, and we'll see you.
Always a pleasure. Speak soon.
Take care, mate. Bye bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Ben.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. A bit of an update on everything and everything. I mean, he's always very insightful, isn't he, about everything that he tries to give you. What I like about him is he tries to explain as much as he can from what he knows, I mean, I know it can feel like it drags sometimes, but it's good, it's good to try and hear.
Oh, it's not easy to articulate all of that straight off of the bat, because this has just happened straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
Giving us all a very articulate response, and also all the facts and details, So it's not easy to do that, to be fair.
Chelsea's not an easy club to probably.
Well, he's got a lot of experience, so that way, he's ready for it, because we sack managers a lot, So.
Yeah. One week we're about to sign Xavi Simons, the next it just all falls through, and then everyone's saying, "Oh, Ben, you said it was this," and so it's.
That's why I prefer him over, some Twitter accounts where they think they know what they're talking about, but they don't.
Yes, agreed. I was going to ask him about Leicester because he's a massive Leicester fan, but
bro, you should have, bro.
Yeah,
really wanted to. I wanted to ask him what he thought about it because I didn't.
Somebody should have told me he's a Leicester fan, but I should have said something, bro. I would have.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I felt I wanted to respect him because he came on, and I didn't want to kind of be rubbing it in at the end. But man, Leicester back-to-back relegations in League One now.
That's dark.
And I think
Maresca without Leicester, right, back-to-back relegations, and then Chelsea without Maresca,
Yeah, let's hope not. Let's hope not, because the Championship is hard. If you want a harder league, League One is very hard, very hard to get out.
I just got a message from the. I'm just going to tell you. So I just got a message from the freelancer that works with Fabrizio Romano. You remember when I told you he gives me news in and out, and I just share it with you guys. Not all the time, but out of the blue, I'll just get news sent across, basically. And he talks about the scenario with the club being sold. I'll read it briefly. This is Clear Lake buying Chelsea completely is totally off the table now. Feliciano just dropped 3.9 billion on San Diego Padres. I don't know who they are, by the way. Egg Barley's been trying to get the deal done, but Clear Lake's Chelsea's funds are closed. They can legally pull more cash from their LPs, the pension funds, to buy more of a toxic asset. Their investors are more into pulling their money into new stuff than into Chelsea. So we know what that means, because we know that we're linked to Aries management and the amount of lenders that are involved in Chelsea, because they're using their money, not their own personal money. And then it goes on to say that my contact told me Egg Barley's probably going to be open to offers to buy him and Clear Lake's shares of the club. He seems to think it might come out in the news soon as well. So we're keeping out of that. And then he says they're looking to go into a new direction with recruitment, but the Chelsea scouts are still out there looking for young talent. That's how he ended it.
So sorry, Jem,
surprised.
just to confirm. So they were, loosely, Egg Barley and Clearlake are looking to find potential bidders to buy their shares out. Is that what that's saying?
Pretty much.
Obviously, it's all hearsay. You know, it's obviously not.
Yeah, basically, basically, they basically Clearlake and Egg Barley could pass their shares on to someone else to buy them out. But we saw a figure. I don't know if you guys saw the figure that was in the that was hovering around on Twitter for 5.4 billion. That they would need to. That would be
is that like the magic figure for them to consider?
Yeah. So, listen. With all that, I don't see anything happening anytime soon. And in what frame of mind would someone want to buy a Chelsea, who, by the way, was valued around 3-point-something billion, now want to buy it for 5.4 just because they spent so much money owed for the lenders? It's not going to work, you know. So, yeah, guys, make sure you smash the likes, please, as well. There's still over 70 of you here. We appreciate you all in here. It's been nearly 2 hours we've been on, man. We're still going. I see a lot of people finished already. We've given you Ben Jacobs. We've been giving you everyone here's point of views. We've heard Fabrizio Romano. We had a Fabrizio Romano on here in his video earlier. So like it's been a real busy live. And the one thing that we could all sit here and be happy about, I guess, is that Rosenior's gone. But my next question, I'll just quick question to AJ is: Rosenior's gone. McFarlane takes over. Do you see anything changing in regards to our own performances and our results going to the end of the season? Now he's gone.
So McFarlane, that's confirmed already?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, is that the same? That's not the guy who
was Man City game.
It is that guy.
I mean, I don't have any expectations really, bro. I don't. I think Rosenior had to go just to clear that energy out of there because it just wasn't, it wasn't going where it needed to go. But I mean, this manager, I think we won both of our games under him, something like that.
We drew with Man City and then we won one, didn't we?
Okay, yeah, we drew and won. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. It's just another fresh start for the players. I guess you just set up the players in their favored position and just hope we get something.
Is this what Dan said more? What we're all on? Are we all on the wavelength of what Dan just said? Comment, which is we don't care about the season, but we're more invested in Arsenal bottling it and Tottenham getting relegated. Is that how we're sort of feeling right now? I know Ads is because he hates Arsenal like me. That's a given. And Tottenham getting relegated. Listen, we have to relegate. If it comes down to us relegating that football club, like actually cementing them, that's the final to me. You know that. That's the final.
Well, Jem, I've got a question for you because you've obviously asked all of us who we would like to be the potential new manager. Who would you like?
Again, I am very stuck with it because I look at the list and I don't like for me, I want someone that has a bit of a background, and I'm looking at like a CV of the likes of like Tuchel when he comes to Chelsea, where he come in, someone that's got a bit of like, something about them. They know how to do things. They know how to win. They've been up in the Champions League. They've competed in the leagues. They've done what they've done. I don't see any of that on the list. And I worry about if you were to compare Areola and Glasner, for example, I would go with Glasner because he's won something. He's actually won an FA Cup with Palace. He's actually done okay with the.
He's also beefed with his ownership as well. He's actually beefed with the board as well.
Yeah, I don't see it happening because, like you just said there, beefing with ownership. So imagine our ownership dealing with Glasner. That's not happening, is it? That relationship's not going to work.
There needs to be some sort of change because you can't afford to keep hiring, championship managers and rookies because America eventually proved himself. But as soon as he got some notoriety or I don't know, some credit in the bank, now he wanted to okay, get me a centre back because I need a centre back. Now he's not taking yes for just anything, and all of a sudden now He was pushed to the end. He left.
It's crazy.
But we can't keep doing this
Yeah.
nonsense. Bro. I ain't trying to. We ain't. Nobody here trying to waste any more time.
Right.
Watching
I'm
nonsense.
I'm just tired.
But
I'm tired of picking from like these mid-table.
yeah, it's hard.
No needle movers. There's no needle movers.
Yeah, but
Does-
AJ, we said earlier that like even Enrique, who's obviously just went from winning 6 trophies in a year, bro. Like he was even saying, I think last summer that like he would want to manage at Chelsea or something like that because of how the ownership is. That's how managers think.
Yeah,
He
I
came
want
with
somebody who's like confident and like who's done it before. You understand? Like
That's
I
the
don't-
problem.
But
we
Yeah,
have
that's-
AJ,
project. We have project players. We got project owners. Now we're getting project managers. It's like, bro, get something that's guaranteed.
AJ, what manager in their right frame of mind, like an Enrique, Nagelsmann's turned us away again. Apparently, I've read in the news. He said no, he's not interested. As soon as they hear the original project and module and what they're expected to do and this, that, and the other, anyone with a fucking peanut in their brains just going, I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and that's
As
what
they
they're trying
should.
to do.
They need to look at like what, because there's managers, top managers out there that don't have a job right now. They need to just draw up a list of 10 managers who have played in, who've managed in the Champions League, who've won some sort of trophy, who's not in a job. Get a list of those 10 managers who's fit that sort of criteria and meet with those managers.
Well, let's take one. Alonso, Xavi. Who else for you? Glasner, Areola. Are they in there for you?
I'm worried.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
worried.
no,
Eddie
no,
Howe.
Not Riolo.
Fabregas? I think he's
No.
got
Fabregas I would take, but not now. He needs to
No.
come later. But I don't
No.
want him to even ruin
Yeah.
himself. Bro. That would be
You
dark.
know, who else is going to be available? I don't think.
I could see us potentially Eddie Howe at Newcastle.
Eddie Howe.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's
Don't
the
think
one.
no,
And
no,
I
no.
can
I
see
mean,
that
I can see it,
happening.
but I ain't trying to see
I
that.
hate it, but I think he is a
In terms
typical
of
yes
stability,
man.
Eddie Howe would make sense in terms of stability, and not that I back it, by the way.
No.
But
Yeah,
in terms
the
of
stability of depression in this football club. Let's keep
no,
that going.
for sure. Don't get me
That
wrong.
makes no sense.
What I mean by stability is to do with the owners in terms of
Yes.
how they would want things to be run and maybe giving that long-term vision to a manager that's
You've
got
got to think
Premier
as
League
well.
proven experience because they
That's
keep
it, Prem
mentioning it as
experience,
well.
Champions League.
But bear in
and
mind, this fits their ream of what they're telling us at the moment. Premier League experience can bring stability. He's done very well at Newcastle.
Can I just say something? By the way, this guy called Varnas. I'm going to say Varna. I don't want to butcher your name, right? Like and subscribe and that. I mean, I don't know if this guy. I don't know because you say Mourinho, you're going to the opposite end of things, and also his previous comment was something about Mudryk being a needle mover. So I don't know if he's okay. I don't know if he's okay. I don't know.
He's a needle mover by putting
maybe
stuff in his arm. That's what it would be.
Oh, you know what? Varna, maybe he's a comedian. He might be a comedian. Fez.
Ariola's another potch I'm reading here from Dan as well. I mean, look, like, what is that? This is the problem. We're always going to be moaning about the managers because we're never all going to come to a mutual agreement about, this one's good enough to come in because it isn't good, the list. It's just all a bunch of ifs and buts again and maybes with some of them, There's no,
the only thing I was a bit concerned about with what Ben said, obviously it's not gospel, he's just kind of floating ideas, was that when they were talking about internal changes, obviously they were saying it could just be departments that change. So it could be that sporting directors stay, but then it's smaller departments then change to, do you know what I mean? I just really panic. They have to go this summer. I think this is the only opportunity I can see that they would have to go. But will it happen? I doubt it.
What are you saying, Benji?
No, I just think, in my opinion, in terms of, for me, I just want it to be a tactical fit. I think that's the most important for me. I think the way we wants to play fits with the manager, with the player we have, and with the players we want to bring in. I don't think it's wise to bring someone like a Ruben Amorim with these type of players because it wouldn't really fit. If you know what type of rail track I'm on. So for me, Company went to Bayern, did exceptionally well because the football just fit, number one, and he had the backing of some senior figures and the players. Everything was just everything just fit like a glove for him. This is what I'm saying. I wouldn't really be angry if we got Iraola, in my opinion, because the football suits us heavily. with the centre backs and
people saying it's more of like a Poch take with Areola, like
Nah, not really. I just think we're just gonna see a more aggressive Chelsea. That's the only difference I think we're gonna see. A more fast-paced, aggressive Chelsea. On the ball, well, we have Enzo Fernandez, and we do have technical, midfielders. It's not like a Bournemouth where they have Alex Scott, and that's the only one they got. So they have fucking Tyler Adams or whatever his name is, and he's absolute dog shit on the ball. So, of course, it's gonna be a little bit better, and he's gonna get better with time too. And this is the thing: like Maresca played one way and one way only at Leicester, and then at Chelsea, we saw the tactical flexibility with the time that he got, and the more games he had on his hand, Champions League, whatever, conference leagues, and they're gonna improve. But I just think we need to be on the one page together with the manager, give him the backing, and just stick with it for at least, in my opinion, 2 years.
Yeah. What would you say? And just before we finish off, because we are going to finish off now, what would you say is the one or couple of managers that you see out there that would confirm to you that they've changed their process, shall we say, and the way they look?
That's a good question.
I don't really. Well, you're talking about realistic, right?
Yeah, like who on the list? Who's available? It's a long list. Is there any of them that you look at and go, if we got him, that would show us that they're changing or they've changed the module in a certain way because they're gone for someone?
I would only take one, to be honest, but that one is a 50-50 if it's going to work or not.
This name better be good, Benji. It's better be good, Benji.
No, that would be Alonso. I think Alonso would be the only one we can say we've turned the corner. But it's still very risky. Why? Because he's not really a back four manager. He's always been playing back three.
What about Xavi?
Xavi is a good shout. I'm not gonna say Sebastian. It's a very, very good shout. He's
Xavi
been
Alonso's
winning.
a better shout. Xavi Alonso, but he actually
What
has
about
a
Zidane?
first-hand understanding of the league, so it makes sense of
Exactly.
What about Zidane, boys? Is it Zidane?
No.
Well, what about
Why wouldn't he go to Liverpool? Why wouldn't he go to Liverpool?
That's the point. Exactly. Like, so
Well,
even Alonso, even if he fits onto our shortlist, why would he want to go to?
I don't see him coming to Chelsea.
We did have a link with I know it's the son, but Diego Simeone. Bring him and Alvarez.
Nah.
If we had Simeone, it would be absolutely.
Him with our owners, bro. Someone's going to prison, bro. Someone's going to prison if that happens.
The thing about the manager is
we go back to the days of watching us defend 1-0 leads and like just
defend 1-0 leads with Tosin and Fofana. Yeah, you sure about that?
Jam, I've always been saying, I couldn't give two damns of how we play as long as it fits the team. Like if you have a elite centre back together with Levi Kowa and you have some leadership, I don't really mind defending 1-0. Now it's going to be boring, but if that leads me to the Premier League before 2027, oh yeah, I'll stick it up. I will stick it up on Arsenal's and Tottenham's head top. Liverpool too, to be honest, but they recently won, but I couldn't give a damn. Yeah, it's just going to be Arsenal. I really don't mind. So it's just about the fit for me personally.
I'm looking at this list of managers. Most of them have clubs already. What about Brendan Rodgers?
No.
He's trolling. He's trolling.
That's the level we're
so
looking
nasty.
He's won.
You went.
He's won 2 Scottish titles back to back. So,
bro, man, allow it, bro. Is it still morning? Allow it, bro.
We not got De Zerbi, man. De Zerbi. We should have got De Zerbi, and everyone loves.
Nah.
It might be available in the summer, so.
Yeah. It'll be available in the summer.
What about the Roma coach, Gasperini?
Nah.
No.
I would have liked him to the Lookman situation. Now I ain't really trying to see my man.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah. What about Conte?
God, imagine the return of Conte and brings Lukaku. Even though him and Napoli are getting on either. But
I would absolutely love Ancelotti to come home. I would. I would love it.
He's your favourite manager at Chelsea, Jam.
I love Ancelotti, man. That's my guy.
Wait, guys, what about Mikel Arteta? What about that one?
No,
You might be free in the summer.
Can't have any more respecting the ball nonsense and holding a
Ten
line.
Hag. Ten
No,
Hag.
bro, they'll be holding
Ten
pens
Hag.
and papers and that. They'll be playing TikToks and training, bro. That can work, bro. It can get a second in the league, bro. It's better than what it can get a second.
Yeah.
I
You
asked
know?
the same question, Hash, and he didn't answer. He doesn't want to answer the question.
So what about
I'm fence sitting. I'm back to my fence sitting. Yeah.
the Fulham manager? Because I
Marco
always
Silva.
see his name.
Marco
he's
Silva.
Marco Silva,
Silva.
he's good and he's got
No, no,
personality, but
No.
I would prefer Glasner over him though.
No,
But-
Marco Silva is on the more on the transition.
We're
If it
getting
was,
company at this rate.
I think
Well,
we're a better transition.
Company's not leaving.
I think we're better in a transition as a team. We have players who are much better in transitional situations. Cole Palmer is better in transition. Neto, João Pedro, all of the attackers essentially.
But now you're
Neto.
indicating that they're gonna stay. I'm not indicating
I'm
that
gonna
Garnacho
assume
and
not-
Neto is staying.
You gotta assume that 90% of those players are staying. Definitely, maybe Enzo and Cucurella might leave, but other than that,
Nah, man, Enzo's not going nowhere. I spoke to him. Never
We can't have Garnacho staying.
those are the two players that could raise funds and could possibly be sold.
Absolutely destroy our club as well.
That's at least 120 mil right there. You feel me?
Yeah, I know, but AJ, you talk about destroying your club here. You get rid of Enzo. We're
Jam.
destroying that.
Enzo, we can survive our Enzo, bro. Let's stop talking about Enzo like
Yeah. We already saw what you've been doing in that sneaky guy from Spain that gets absolutely cooked every
Bro,
time.
we got
you think
Lavio,
Cucurella's
bro.
gonna
We got
stay?
Lavio and Caicedo, bro, man. It's all
Jem,
right.
you think Cucurella's gonna stay?
Nah, I don't.
Why the
I
fuck
actually think, but I don't mind because
Cucurella
we've got Hato, right? Hato's.
Yeah,
I actually think Hato's good.
I like Hato. Hato's very good.
But we do need Enzo for now.
Now Hato got something about him, bro. Another 2 years, Hato could be a top left back. He got the characteristics for it.
We need the characters in there.
But I think we also need to raise money, Jem, and I think Enzo. I think that's the
Well, but the problem is, AJ, we're raising money to buy shit players.
We don't know to buy shit. They said they're changing the model. What you mean? We might buy the best player out there, bro. They said
who can you potentially bring in that say you sold him for 120, you got 120. Who could you bring in that would make us better in that position that he does?
We've got Lavio and
There's a lot of
bro.
We've
got man already here, bro. Under a proper coach.
My thing is, it depends on how you want to play. You can Enzo might give us the all around package, but he's not excelling at something, So we could get somebody who excels at one thing, and it might help the team as a function altogether. You understand? I know I rate Enzo. I think he can be a world class player. I don't think he's world class yet. He can be, but to me, looking at the club, they're gonna try to raise some money, bro. We're not making Champions League. Enzo kind of wants to leave. That's how it's gonna go, bro.
All right, nigga.
You want 90 million
all right,
on
nigga. Please ask your own question. Who can we bring in? If this guy is not, very much elite at something in his game, agree to disagree, then who can we bring in? Please ask your own question.
What do you mean?
Who can? But you still you basically stated that if we sell Enzo, we can bring in someone that can elevate this team. Now, nigga, I challenge you. Name that player.
Hold on. I don't like your use of nigga. I don't like.
Yeah, you need to really cut that out.
I don't like how it sounds coming from you. So I'm gonna tell you, don't say that to me again.
I'm a nigga myself. I'm a black person.
Let's move on from that. So you want me to? I can't. Listen, it's a valid question. I can't tell you who we should bring in right now. I got to do my research. But I'm telling you, I'm saying this from the point of view of the club, where we at financially, the feeling of Enzo. He's been here. Remember, he's been here longer than most of these guys that's here. He's probably tired of this shit, bro. We're fans watching it. He's living it every single day. He's probably tired of it. Think about it, right? So somebody said Camavinga, Chouameni. That might help the team function differently. Now, are we going to get goals and assists from them? Probably not. But the goals and assists might have to come from somewhere else. have to come from somewhere. But that's how
It needs to come from Cole Palmer. That's what it needs to come
Come
from.
on, bro.
Listen, when Cole Palmer's
Come
not been
on, bro.
turning around, and not been around for like he has a year and a half, who's the guy that's been turning up and putting the assists on the table?
Yeah, but
Is
go and
anyone
buy me
else?
some other strikers, bro, who can also get goals. We got to drop
Our
Pedro. That's
wingers
cool.
are inept. It should be our wingers that give us that, and they
That's the
can't
point,
do that.
because
So,
Joe,
But we
I'm
might have to sell Enzo to get the winger that gives us that, or to get the striker that
Exactly.
gives us that.
Exactly.
Kukurea and Enzo, those are the sellable assets. I'm not saying I want them to go. I wanted to keep the nucleus of this team and build on it. But we
That's what I
fumbled
agree on.
this season. This
Yeah.
season has changed everything, bro. The things are gonna start getting ripped up, and we're gonna have to do
This
something.
guy's got Palmer in the picture here.
You
Look.
think I want to be doing this on a big show like this? Like and subscribe. I don't want to be doing this. I've been waiting a year for this guy to perform, bro. Like, it's long. You know what I mean, I'm not trying
Longer
to
than a year.
I think we found our solution for managerial is this man.
Oh yeah, fuck that. Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, fuck that.
Yes, win.
That would be crazy.
We are going to finish alive because we need Man City to win tonight and go top.
Wait. We can't finish about Leeds predictions, bro.
Come on.
Leeds predictions. Yeah,
Leeds
Jim, you're the
predictions.
host of that. You start, bro. What are you saying about Leeds? Sunday, Wembley, bro.
Oh, Leeds. Okay,
We're
Leeds.
all going. Well, we are. Us four, aren't we?
Yeah, we're planning something, innit? We're planning something. Talk soon, innit? We're planning something.
Yeah, we're going to figure that out.
What are you saying, though, Jim? What's your prediction, bro?
4-0.
To Leeds.
Fucking hell, we better
Win.
else, man. Otherwise, that is
Win.
Yeah, it's going to be a Callum McFarlane masterclass. They're going to wake up now. They're going to play football.
No, we gotta win, bro. We have to win.
You're going to get a manager bounce because Callum's in control. Yeah, we're going to play football again. And then they're going to start. Yeah, João Pedro is going to be back. Apparently, Cole Palmer, they said, I reckon he'll be back as well. So we'll probably have our full squad back, ready to go out.
Esteban, obviously,
Esteban.
But
Yeah.
João Pedro's big,
Yeah,
right?
bro.
Because he's the one player for me that's just been so good this season. He's been very good in form. And if we're going to win against a team like Leeds, I am not watching that Brock Lesnar Delap guy up front anymore.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, AJ, I don't know if you're a big WWE fan, but we need somebody to compare Delap to that isn't Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar was actually good. You know what I mean? We need somebody we need
Delap
somebody.
Lesnar.
I got you. I think of something.
Yeah,
Somebody
people
put
say-
Bob the Builder. I think that's perfect.
if we've got Delap up front, we ain't winning. We ain't doing
Delap
crap.
Builder,
Let's
yeah.
be serious. Like,
The
He
Lap
was,
the Builder.
he was a WWE guy when he was like Mexican and he had a unibrow. It'll be him.
What, Eugene or something?
No, he used to always be in Royal Rumble and he just got knocked out immediately. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah,
With the unibrow.
I know. Yeah, I know what it means.
But yeah, the answer is, what's your answers? Are we losing still? Are we drawing? Are we winning? Come on.
Yeah,
then.
we're losing. We're
We're
losing.
losing.
Oh, Benji, man. I'm
Yeah.
disappointed. But I'm
I
disappointed.
feel like
Whoa.
I think Leeds always give us problems, especially at their stadium. But I feel like Wembley is just a little different vibe. You understand? So I think top players normally would rise in like a bigger game. So I think we should win that game. I think we really should win that game. If we don't win that game, that's crazy, bro. Just end the
On
season.
paper,
It's about momentum. For me, it's about momentum. And obviously, they have momentum coming into this. But if we just get through the first 10, 15 minutes and they get through, they kind of, the adrenaline drops down of, we're at Wembley, we're in better form. Then, okay, the lights get brighter. It's a big crowd. When is the last time Leeds have even been at Wembley, bro? Like,
Yeah, this
the
is why
fans are going to be on it. Their players could easily
Yeah.
get, if we start doing what we should be doing. Again, if our big players turn up, and all of a sudden it's Cole Palmer at Wembley who's done a thing. Caicedo doing a thing. Santino Morella's crazy.
That's it. He's not Mexican. He's Italian. Yeah.
But basically, we're gonna win. We're gonna win. We have to win.
But why are you having a go at me for saying we're going to win then? Oh, why are you going to win?
You said that after the second, bro. I said this like 2 days ago that we're gonna win.
Look, I hope it goes to extra time and penalties so we can all stay out longer. That's all I'm gonna say.
no, you know what? I'm actually going home. If it goes to pens, I'm just going home. Bro, I'm not staying for that shit.
You got to go back to Belgium, bro. You're going to be with us in London, bro.
Bro, I am not staying for that shit. If we actually make it to pens, I'm just going home. I'm not bothered to.
Wait, you don't trust
sit
your
there.
ball,
No, I really don't trust this team. I really don't. I actually don't. Like, even though I'm taking the last train home, like, I really don't trust this team. For me, it's 90 minutes extra time at maximum. But it's just, I don't really trust the 11 players to just go and do business. At least Leeds, they got players off the bench. We don't. they have, that little black kid from Italy, the
Nonto.
Gnonto. Yeah, that kid. They got a few players off the bench.
Buonanotte.
We have the amazing Super Garnacho. That's gonna save us. So it's looking dark, and everybody in our team is on bad form. So I don't really know if it's gonna turn around or not. But
But these are
I'm just
these are
gonna go
big
with
games.
a
You have to remember. Listen, we have to remember when we were not in great form going into the PSG game. We saw how we played against them until obviously Jorgensen did what he did. That was the champions of Europe. This is bloody Leeds, bro. Like even the cup final, even the cup semis against Arsenal, which we lost. Cool. Remember, man, them first leg, we were missing how many players, and we still ended up being 3-2 against Arsenal, who were in top great form. And then second leg, again, this is Arsenal, top of the league, top of the Champions League at the time. We gave them, a good game without Palmer and Esteban. They came onto the pitch, okay, they didn't do anything, and they scored a last-minute goal with whoever scored the goal, right?
Havertz.
yeah.
I tried to get that. That's my point, right? Again, as much as this talk, again, we all have been watching Chelsea for a long time to know that this has not been good. But in cup competitions, especially when you're playing against certain teams, you can still find a way. Again, we found a way against PSG. Again, we found a way against PSG and made this happen. If it wants to,
but actually, this is one.
My point is like Leeds, it's
Yeah.
Mandem. When you know when Sir Alex Ferguson used to say, "Oh, but it's Tottenham." Mandem, it's Leeds. Like it's
But
Leeds.
can I just say something to that, just quickly, just to add to that, right?
Yeah.
This is very short. You can go again in a second. Chelsea's record at Wembley of recent 7 losses in a row.
But see, now I don't really want to link the Mandem on Sunday. If I'm saying that, bro. Like, I don't
I
know if I want to even go now. Like,
from what used to be our home, it's now not our home anymore, unfortunately.
Somebody said if you actually score, the crowd will go mental.
The thing is, right, Leeds are a good team. We are on our day. We are a better team. If they wake up and play the way we need them to play, they should have create enough to beat this Leeds team in a stadium that they've not played in ever. I don't think in a long time, shall I say? Yeah, with this bunch of players, we've got players that have won things, even though people don't want to talk about it. Club World Cup and Conference League, that they've won stuff. There's something there for them to go, right, we know what we need to do in these type of games. Leeds haven't got that. So for me, I just need big performances from our big players, and the ones that are half decent around them, I just need them not to do so much stupid in between the game, and we'll probably be all right. I'm not going to lie. We probably will somehow find a way around it.
Yeah.
But we're asking for a lot. We haven't won a game in what? We've only won one game, and that was Port Vale in 8 games. So,
let me tell you something. Caicedo, João Pedro, Cole Palmer, these players owe us. You understand?
Yeah,
they are our best players. We like these players, but listen, they haven't been performing recently either. They part of this shit. So if you're gonna pop up,
the cup is about the fans as well. The league is obviously about the money. Obviously, I get the ownership. So if you're upset at the ownership, I can actually hear Enzo being mad at them and underperforming. Because to be fair to Enzo, PSG away, he was doing his thing. So let's see that again. Now it's a cup game, which is about the fans, because the money that you win from the FA Cup, it's not much. But winning this for the fans, we will actually enjoy that day out. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, that's something we will be talking about off here. But yeah, we might not be around for the countdown, guys, on Sunday because we will be heading over to the game. But what we are going to be doing is giving you some potential lives podcasters while we're over there. So yeah, pay attention. Yeah, we'll let you know. Once I know, I'll let you guys know what's going on with that. Obviously, we're going to go because football's starting in a minute. We've had 2.5 hours live today, which is a huge one. Tomorrow we've got, what is tomorrow? Probably just be on for some news, isn't it? It's Thursday, isn't it? So tomorrow we'll just see. And then Friday we'll do a match preview potentially for Leeds. And then obviously we'll talk to you about Sunday, guys. But listen, big up everyone. Anyway, it's been a real good live. Enjoyed this one today. All the Mandem that are here right now, smash the likes, leave a comment. We appreciate every single one of you that have been here all the way through as well. And Rosenior, see you later, mate. Up the Chelsea. Up the Chelsea.